That's alright, mama. That's alright with you. That's alright, mama. And just any way you do. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, mama. Any way you do. Come on now, can you feel the pain? Into him now, about this new world. Ain't no train. Papa's got a brand new eye. Purple haze in my brain. Lately things just don't seem the same. Acting funny and I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Happy Red Friday. Olivia, it is the weekend.
Yes, I have a question for you.
Okay.
The song that Still Point singing right there, Papa's got a brand new what?
Bag.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. It just
James
didn't.
Brown.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but then it doesn't sound like it when Brandon sings it. So I was like,
Yeah.
have I been singing it wrong this whole time?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, good. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I don't know. I think just when you said Papa's got a, and that's I haven't listened to it. I mean, I have a million times, but not for that purpose.
Gotcha.
But I'm pretty sure it's Papa's got a brand new bag and it's James Brown. I would almost 100% it. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show, everybody. Good to have you all here. We are going to be playing the RSBN interview today because I think it's really an important conversation, and I thought it went well, Matt. I thought our last interview that we had with Matt Alvarez didn't go the way I wanted to. I thought it was a good interview. It just, I was trepidatious and a little hesitant because it's my first time being on someone else's show of that magnitude. And this time I didn't have any problem with that. I just got to speak my mind, and I wanted to make sure I got what I wanted to say in. And I also felt like I built a relationship with Matt in this a little bit too. So yeah, it was pretty good. I'm excited about it. We're going to show it to you. Liv hasn't seen it. We'll probably extend the show a little bit. We have to be off when?
I gotta go pick the kids up at 9:30.
So yeah, so we'll be around to at least 9:30. Then I'm going to try to
pick them up at 9:30.
You know what
so
I mean.
9:15, yeah.
You know what I mean. And I'm going to try to convince Olivia to go get yogurt. We'll talk about it. We'll see you guys in 3 minutes.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hey guys, Barry Morgenstein, America's headshot photographer, coming to you from my New York City studio. Great friend of the Dumb Show. It is now time to put down the camera because it's almost 7 p.m.
Is it wrong that I'm more excited to meet Shelley than I am to see Barry?
No, because Shelly's more excited to meet us too.
Yeah, it was so funny. Shelley put it on a post. She's like, she goes, what did she say? God, what did she say, Liv?
I don't remember. Which
Yeah,
post?
it was the post about Barry, and she goes, God gave me the greatest man.
Yeah, God gave me couldn't ask for a better man or
right.
or
And
something
I said,
like that.
And then I came on and I had to remove it because I didn't know if she would take it a certain way, but I was like, that's because you hadn't met me yet.
I think she'd be cool with that.
I know, so I took
that's
it.
just me.
I know, I took it down though.
And I'm going to watch the coolest, the most real and raw show on the internet.
I wonder if Mandy and Jack are going to be there.
That would be cool.
I would love to see them too. And then
Yes.
Lisa Regina, you think she'll probably be there?
I don't know.
I'm excited. Like
That'd be
it's
great.
like a smorgasbord of people who we have no absolute business rubbing shoulders with. It's good stuff. I'm excited.
Yep.
All right.
It's on every night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the coolest guys, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, and Amy. You guys have to tune in to see it. It's going to be something incredible every night. Check it out.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Oh, welcome everybody. Good to have you here. It's Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. Something we always do. Am I wearing red? No, I'm not.
I don't wear red every Friday either.
But I do throughout the day for sure. I just didn't tonight, and I forgot. So whatever. Don't judge me. We still remember everyone deployed, and I don't need to have red on to remember that. Just remember that. Hope everyone's doing well. We had a good show last night. It was an interesting show with Scott Nugent, and it was fun. It was a good show. It was a good time. Folks, the top 5 answers are on the board. Donations are at 300 tonight. Excuse me. Voice is a little hoarse because, I've been doing the all day. What am I missing, Livy? Oh, you want to go buy a hat, a shirt, some coffee, anything like that, you can go over to thedumbshow.com. And when our store, we don't talk about it enough. We got 5-star rating. And I think we have something like 300 5-star ratings, but we have almost 5,000 reviews.
Mm-hmm. You can get this lovely shirt.
Yeah. Look at that thing. It's great. 10,000 transactions we've done on that show. And honestly, people are happy. They're always happy with the stuff. People say it's the most comfortable hoodies. I've had this one since... This is 2.5 years old, and it's been washed like 30 times, and I love it. So if you haven't had a chance to go over there. We had some jacket winners, and we're giving away 2 jackets. We did that last Friday. The next one will be in December, and then we're also going to do an end of the month big swag bag giveaway. So make sure you guys be on top for that. So what I wanted to do is do something I used to do all the time, and then I haven't done it in a long time, which is kind of show the show that I did in the day. But I don't do that anymore because I really only do like 1-minute shorts, and I make it a part of the show sometime. But this one I think was pretty good. This was the RSBN interview with Matt Alvarez that we did. And if you don't know what RSBN is, it's Right Side Broadcasting Network. Go give them a follow. We've got a ton of interesting stuff tonight, folks. I don't want to be talking about goal. I really don't. I just want to. So if you're like, oh, well, tonight was the night I was going to donate, do it, because we don't have time. And we've got a lot to do. And there's like 2 15-minute segments that you have to see. And it is such an amazing analogy here. And it's in regards to a counterfeit $100 bill that just looks like Monopoly money, and a very, very authentic looking counterfeit, and what the difference is between 2 major podcasters. And it is like, I almost wanted to steal it and like hire someone to eliminate the guy so I could steal the idea. It's so genius. You have to see this video.
Before we
Yeah.
get started,
Yeah.
can I say one thing?
I'll allow it.
Gee, can I have my Pepsi later too?
Well, you're the one
please?
who asked permission. You don't have to, you know. I mean, our marriage hasn't been like that in a while.
You know, that's funny.
Yeah.
So I just wanted for our prayer warriors out there, we have a listener, Sherry Johnson, who I've been talking to last couple of days. Her and her husband are just going through a rough time right now. He's got cancer. The chemo pills are not cutting it, so he has to go back in for another bone marrow biopsy.
Oh, Sherry.
And then she is actually going in for heart surgery.
Oh, come on.
So
Come on.
yeah. So I asked if we could shout you out. And
Oh,
give
forget
them
it.
all a
Let's
prayer.
go. Let's go.
So-
This is Sherry.
And his name is Rob.
Oh, Lord. Sherry, you really had to do that? I mean, you guys had to choose. Look at this hair. You kidding me?
I wasn't expecting that. That's great.
Honey, it's not getting any better. Hey.
You look like a hippie. You need a haircut. No, you're supposed to go totally tubular, man.
Totally tubular, dude. Whatever. I don't care. Let's make that happen. What's Sherry's husband's name?
Rob.
Rob.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I'm not good at this. All right, here we go. Kitty, go away. Mom, get the cat. Go away. Kitty, go away.
Love you, baby girl.
All right. Okay. Lord, it is. Oh, it's been a few days, and I apologize about that. And I haven't been following up with my prayers. I want to thank you for today. Good interview. I had a lot of fun, and it was good for the show. I want to thank you for my son who's out at the football game, and he's out by himself with his friends, and that's the first time we've allowed that to happen, and that's important. Thank you for endowing both of us with that trust and faith that he will make the right decisions. And my daughter, who has been put in about 85 hours this week with school as she goes through Tech Week and the Lord of the Flies play, and she does all the makeup for the cast, and she's up at 7 o'clock and she's gone till 11 o'clock at night, and she's incredible. So thank you, Lord, for that. And then my loving wife, just having her next to me on the show and everything else. And I wanted to say those thank yous because I have something else to ask that's extremely important to me. And we have the Johnson family who we're reaching out to you for, and everyone on the show is because they are a big part of our show. They're a big part of the Dumb Nation family, and this show is important to us, and so are the people who watch it. Sherry's going through a very tumultuous time with heart surgery, and please put your hand on her and walk her through that very difficult time and bring her safe on the other side, if that is your will. And then Rob Johnson also got some bad news with the cancer that he's been fighting, and this family just needs your grace. And we understand that these trials and tribulations are not your fault. Yet this is our way to ask for your grace and your light to guide these people who we absolutely love through this time. And, you know, at times like this, it's hard to ask for too much. And after all the things that I listed, I know everyone else's voices are in unison and praying for the same thing. So in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Can't believe my hair.
Looks hot.
I gotta go get it did. Well, we're gonna be with Barry tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
So I gotta look pretty for Barry. I don't care about Shelly. She's already cheated on me and went with Barry. It's horrible. All right. So listen, we would appreciate if everyone put their hands together and just let's just say some words. It's important. Power of prayer is important. And I'm still learning how to do it, but it gets easier and easier each time. Let's get going. I want to show you this RSBN interview. This is Matt Alvarez. Now, Barry is not the person who introduced us to Matt Alvarez, even though Barry knows Alvarez and company. This was actually Tom or T.S. Dixon.
T.S. Dixon, yep.
Who introduced us. And when he was here in the show, he's like, hey, I'll get you on RSBN. And I'm like, okay. And then he did. And like literally the next day after he left, Matt reached out. Now, Matt Alvarez is just a great dude. And today I felt we connected really well. And I want to show this to you because it's an important conversation. And then I've got some other things. Yeah, Marky, I agree. Good to see you here, buddy. Been a while. I hear you. I see you peruse once in a while, but it's good to have you here, man. Yeah, praying is amazing. You know, it really is. All right, we got a big show. We got to go. So here's the interview. No further ado. And you know, please, if you have some questions or comments or anything, just let it out. You know, if this is a good time for you to go do something real quick. You've already seen it. I understand that, but a lot of people haven't because it was only up for a short period of time before we went live. So here it is in its entirety and trimmed and cropped just for you.
A lot of stories.
Not until I get the audio.
Almost.
A lot of stories to track, but joining us now for the second time, though, is Matthew Spear, podcast host, of course, for the Don't Unfriend Me show. Sir, thank you again for joining us on Right Side.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. I love the new background, by the way. I saw it a couple weeks ago. Looks great.
Thanks. And so we're in Studio B right now. Looking forward to Studio A getting renovated as well. But your background looks great too, man. Nice hat, by the way. Tell us about that hat.
Well, the Don't Unfriend Me show was born about 5 years ago. We just recently had our anniversary, and it was born out of, you know, having a political opinion and having friends and family defriend you over it. So we started the show, and here we are, and we have Studio A now, which Studio B was a broom closet, and this is a little bit bigger. So things are going well.
That's awesome. Let's get right to it. Let's talk about what I opened up at the top of the show, talking about securing our elections and then justice being served. Let's start with securing our elections. We know that the president has promised us the 19th out of 28 promises of the core promises to the American people, voter ID, you know, paper ballots and all of that. When are we going to see that is the question. You know, when is that going to be discussed and really released out there for the public?
Well, it's interesting. When you look at the Supreme Court appointments under Donald Trump, he obviously re-envisioned the entire court and set a generational change in SCOTUS, and something we haven't seen. 71 years of Democrat control over SCOTUS has left a lot of wants when it comes to how we proceed with the Constitution, how we ensure the Constitution's survival. The great thing about Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett is what they're known for, obviously, is their stance on abortion and to the Constitution, but slightly less known is their absolute passion for voter ID and ensuring that we have safe elections. And I think this is kind of the last piece of the puzzle that Donald Trump is going to have to face and tackle. You know, voters are demanding re-election security, and states are finally responding with tougher voter ID laws, and they're cleaning up their voter rolls all across. Lucy Bookman, I figured you out and I crushed you. You're gone now, sister. You thought you had us fooled. You thought you could do it, but no, I figured you out. And it's just between you and me and Olivia. We haven't been able to ban your sorry ass, but lady, you're now gone. Ha, your trickery.
What's the trickery? I was like, I can't ban her.
She back channels through another, and she immediately blocks you and I on our personal pages, but still Don't Unfriend Me can see her, but we can't block her.
So how did you do it?
I went through another account because I have an admin on Don't Unfriend Me that has nothing to do with her, and I got her and I crushed her. So I had to go through, I couldn't get her on Don't Unfriend Me, but I had to find her, found her like, clicked her like, went into the other account, logged in, got her page, and then I blocked her.
Good.
So she's
because I'm like, last night I couldn't do it. I'm like,
I know.
What's going on?
No, I got her. I recognize her because she's in the fake military gear, and that really ticks me off. Sorry, folks. I just get a little excited when I outsmart the bots. Here it is, United States. And really how we restore signature checks on every single ballot and make sure that they are verified. Because remember, it's not a vote until the ballot is absolutely confirmed. And I think this is probably one of the main focuses you've heard from Donald Trump and our side the most. So courts are taking a look at this. We know that the SCOTUS is going to have to make a decision on this, and they are going to have to do it right quick because 2026 is right around the corner. But more importantly, 2028 is there as well. So these things take time. Chain of custody is super important. We have to make sure that that's not abused. A lot of these ballots are now coming in by mail-in. They're coming in absentee and then day of. And if the chain of custody isn't properly handled, we really don't know who's touched these things. So the validity is also in question. But we also got to look, Matt, at foreign influence. And it is such a massive issue. And we're seeing all of the money coming in. And obviously people are talking about Israel and AIPAC, but there are so many other influences coming in that are foreign and also national. We got to look at that and look at the money coming in, especially dark money coming into these elections.
Exactly. So there's a lot going on there to cover. I mean, at the end of the day, we know President Trump.
Tamar, I think Olivia had it all under control. Yeah, we're good, Tamar. I got everything I need. I just need to send everything out.
On Truth Social has spoken a lot about this, about voter reform. So obviously we need that in place by the November elections, to your point, in 2026. Speaking of elections, just the other day, the Virginia race, New Jersey and New York and others obviously didn't go very well. But what was your thought when you saw about 1.5 million people voted for Zohran Mamdani out of a population of 8 million people in New York City?
Yeah, I want to talk about Virginia too, because we were there the night before the election with Governor Youngkin and a few others, and we'll have some insight since I live in Virginia. But the dreaded curse of talking about the red wave, and I always try to tell people, please don't talk about the red wave. Let's just go ahead and win us some elections, and then we'll celebrate later. But there is a red wave that's going across the United States right now, and you can look in Seattle where a socialist election took place. You look at Michigan, you look at Mamdani. And the normalization of socialism and progressivism, and you can rename it all you want. It leads to communism, but they're calling it, democratic socialism right now. But about a year ago, you saw something take place, and it was Bernie Sanders and AOC touring the country and selling out to these massive complexes. And everyone said, well, she's vying for a speaker, or wants to be the majority leader. And I knew something nefarious was going on there. And what it was the normalization of progressivism in America. And we saw it in the Mamdani race. And when Bernie and her both went there, it was kind of the coup de grace, I guess you could say, of normalizing it. And especially in a place like New York, I wasn't too surprised to see New Jersey and Virginia. We called those were D6 strongholds for Democrats. And then a city like New York being a D20 for Democrats. But be very, very clear, the Virginia and New Jersey race were nothing compared to what happened in New York. That wasn't a Democrat race. That was socialism taking hold in major cities across America. So my initial reaction is you can't tax a country into prosperity. You can't tax a city or a municipality into prosperity. And they're about to feel the pains of what socialism brings. More crime, less police, higher taxes, cost of living in COLA will go up. I'm definitely fearful for my friends in New York.
And our friends in Seattle, Washington, Katie Wilson, the mayor there, is the same political ideology, same footprint there. So that's two cities that have fallen officially to things like socialism / communism and what else, It's just not good, as you know. That's why we have to secure our elections, keep talking about these things, because the mainstream media obviously is not going to cover the truth. They cover lies. That's their day-to-day service to the people. Here, we're lying to you today. I hope you listen. Right. Let's move on now to justice being served in the court of law against those who have weaponized government against President Trump and against we the people over the past how many years? Your thoughts about what's going on right now? Or should we be seeing more of a rapid pace of taking care of business in the court of law?
Right. We kind of have to talk out of both sides of our mouths, right? We want to see instant justice. Robert, that's awesome. It's really nice of you, man. I know you just found our channel, and to come in and do that is an awesome thing. We really, truly can't thank you enough. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So hope your wife enjoys the show too. So thank you, Robert. We appreciate you. But if we're following the Constitution, if we're following the laws of the land from a federal and a state level, these things do take time. But we can't get this twisted. People want the government to be held accountable. They recognize that a political weapon has been cast upon them. And let's face it, the politicians feasting on politicians doesn't concern me. It's the weaponization of child protective services or the IRS, or using local sheriffs to take innocent people who are just using their God-given right for speech. This is the thing that bothers me. Is it's always been in Washington, the political game, but it's now trickling down to the common citizen. And this is my biggest concern. We're seeing whistleblowers coming out now. They're being backed up by conservatives. We saw this during the Biden administration. And then all of a sudden whistleblowers were, not valid anymore. And and it doesn't really matter what they say, but you remember during the Obama years, you remember the whistleblowers against Trump. These people were the gold standard. They were coming down from Mount Sinai with the tablets, and then all of a sudden whistleblowers aren't worth anything. So I think it's important to establish the credibility with whistleblowers again and ensure that we're taking them seriously. But the judges are going to be the critical piece. And, you've got to go after these surveillance abuses. You have to go after the falsified warrants. The entire ecosystem of insiders has really plagued the justice system for quite a while. So we've got to see arrests, Matt. I mean, it's great hearing all about the indictments and people exposing things. But if we don't do anything about it and we don't hold these people to account, it's really just an injustice, not only to the system, but to the citizens of this country who are held to a higher standard that the elites are not.
Exactly. Great point. And then on top of that, would we go as far to say bye-bye freedom in the United States of America in the future? Or is that dramatic to say something like that? But isn't that what the left really is trying to do? Turn us into London or worse?
Yeah, and you've seen it, my friend. I mean, I've been all over the world, and to see London and to see the fall of Europe, which is coming within the next 15 to 20 years with the Muslim, 6 out of 10 politicians in London will be Muslim. And it's not here to attack the Muslim religion, but it is a giant culture shift. And you have to look at self-preservation, and you have to look at the ebbs and flows of Europe. So go will the United States, because ultimately it'll end up on our doorstep. I think when we look at freedom is a little bit of an illusion. It depends on who's in office. And we look at the Patriot Act, we look at the spying, we look at the FISA warrants, we look at the way that the law has been bent. I think we all need to come to a realization that privacy in the United States is no longer something that is real. It's a pipe dream. And how do we go ahead and take our rights back? How do we ensure that our communications, that the things that we say are not only protected, but are not monitored behind our backs, and then unbeknownst to us, something happens that they disagree with, and all of a sudden we have charges, or you have a knock on your door, and it's the FBI or it's somebody else checking up to ensure that your speech is verified. This hasn't stopped. It's continuing to go on. And even in the Trump administration, I encourage that the FBI and the DOJ need to do a better job of ensuring that the First Amendment is foremost protected in the United States today. And I haven't seen much change in that. I still see the throttling on social media. We still see the strike downs coming from local. You didn't have a chance to watch this all, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And city government on people's speech. So I want to see that get better.
And exactly what I do every day for is freedom for freedom of speech and for our constitutional rights. I mean, what you're saying may not be far off in the United States. Actually, it happened a bit under the Biden regime.
Yes, it did.
But it is full blown out there in places like England. You watch the social media videos, the knocks on the door. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, we want to check on a social media post. You said something about, this thing. Right. So what does that mean? Like, we just want to investigate. We're just here to.
Right. We're the government and we're here to help. The most fearful words from Ronald Reagan.
The line you don't cross is violent acts, violence, inciting it, speaking about none of that. But I'm saying, if you say, I don't like that person, I wish they would vote this way or whatever, or say you are saying, oh, I love God, family, country, freedom, or knock, knock, knock. Really? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You saw the person was arrested in the public square for saying bacon. And he's like, well, you're using that as a racial slur. And I think, you got to look at Bill Maher. And I used to watch Bill Maher when I was a young kid. And, whether you agree with him politically or not, it really is immaterial. You have to look back that this guy's been a bastion for free speech, no matter if you liked his speech or not. And you look what happened with Politically Incorrect. And that was kind of the fall and the beginning of the end, so to speak. And I think we have a platform. I mean, Matt, you do amazing work, and I watch you regularly, and I try to get out there and ensure that we have a platform for speech for everybody. But in the end, it's the flipping of a switch. What happens when it's turned off? What happens when our ability to communicate or the internet is gone? What happens when, hey, our speech is now regulated by the communications department and the people who provide us internet? It's not that far off. And we like to think that we're so far removed from oppression and tyranny. Folks, we just, I know it seems that a couple hundred years ago, wasn't that long ago, but in the lifespan of this world and the history involved, we are a very young nation still. And we are not far removed from tyrannical rule and oppression. And to see these things come back and rear their head, and to see England go the way of what we fought for and against, it's terrifying, Matt. And I know you feel the same.
It's exactly the way I'm thinking and feeling. And you know what, Matthew? It is millions and millions of people across this country resonate with that information. We tell it like it is here because that's what is the truth, right? It's common sense, so-called journalism or / opinion editorial, because there's a million voices out there. There's a million things going on. And I was looking yesterday on X and Truth Social, and I'm like, man, there's these podcasts everywhere. We're all doing these, and that's great. It's great to have freedom of speech, freedom of expression. There's a lot of noise, though, too, within mainstream media, and just everybody's trying to figure out, okay, there's a million options now. Yeah. See, back in the day, it was ABC, NBC, CBS, the cable news. Okay, those guys are the ones that tell us how, or local news. But now there's a million other options. And now it's about going through the weeds and looking through and being like, oh, that guy, Matthew Spear, he's telling the truth. Oh, RSBN or InfoWars or Gateway Pundit or whatever conservative outlet you want to put in there. That's simply about, and I just want to end with this, God, family, country, and freedom. Is that not what it's all about, Matthew Spear?
It should be. And I'd rather talk about this than do a plug. So if we can have just a little more time. I love what you said there, because I've noticed something, and the people that I've listened to, I did a short on this last week that went viral, is the people who we went to for information. Something happened when Charlie died and there's a change that's taking place, and the people who were bringing us the truth, and I don't need to name names. Everybody knows who the big ones are in this scene. We're not talking about geopolitics. We're not talking about God. We're not talking about country. We're not talking about conservative principles. We're talking about high school gossip. We're talking about conspiracy. We're talking about things that have no substance, and it's purely speculation and derision. And the ability to have the debate that everybody wants. Hey, debate me, man, if you think I'm right or wrong. How about we just start having conversations again? How about we start telling the truth? How about we hold our tongues if we don't know what we're talking about, and we use our ears more and listen? Matt, this is why I'm eternally grateful to shows like yours that literally listen to the people talking that they bring on, and not just try to go ahead and steer them into the talking points. I think we need to do a better job of realizing there's so much noise out there, and what do we disseminate? What do we process? And if we can start doing that, maybe we can start finding where the truth is and going to those sources again, because I'm having a hard time finding it right now, Matt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I hear you. I agree with you about probably 95%, because that extra 5% is some people that bring up different topics or thoughts or just their opinion. I'm not the kind of person that says you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm actually 100% open to people saying, well, what happened here? Or what, it's just asking questions.
Sure.
Now you have to have evidence, you have to have receipts, you have to have all of that as well. But that's why, to be real with you, and as we close here, and thanks for watching everybody right now. This is Matthew Spear. I'm Matthew Alvarez. This is Right Side Broadcasting Network, as you know. But the reason why I don't go so deep into some of those areas that you're talking about is because I see it from a 30,000-foot view. Not that I'm looking down, but I just go like this. What can we do for God, for country, for family, and for freedom here? I have such a concern for what we were talking about prior to what we just talked about, about the London, England flow in America. If someone wants to express whatever thought they have, as long as it's not against, violent, right? No violent, inciting violence or anything. Great. But the point is, I want to preserve the freedom. I hold on to the Constitution, man. Actually, the We the People books right here, right? You got it too.
I got all three of them, and then I've got the big one back here from my mother. She gave it to me. Yeah.
I mean, exactly. The documents and writings of the Founding Fathers collects 15 significant and historical texts, including the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Common Sense book, of course, the Federalist Papers. Like this and the Bible. Now, I'm not kidding. This and the Bible. Yeah. We clutch, we hold, we say, this is what it's all about.
They're synonymous. They are.
Exactly.
You can't have one without the other.
Exactly. So
they've tried to sell that Christianity aren't the fundamental values, but when you look for moral principles, there's only one book that brings it. We know
Well,
what that book is. 2, actually,
and-
now.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson said, and I used this quote the other day, that the cornerstone of liberty is the Bible. The Bible is the cornerstone of liberty. You know, Thomas Jefferson said it. So he said it. I'm just repeating it. You know,
Right.
it's like, who do we stand with as we go into whatever we go into over the next 3 to 6 to 25 years or whenever Jesus returns? Like, who are we really propping up and standing with? I think is really, really crucial. We're on Team Truth.
Right.
We want our president, Donald Trump, to continue to fulfill promises from the campaign.
Right.
We see a lot of them being done. We want more. It's pretty simple, common sense, tell it like it is stuff. You have the last word, Matthew.
The only thing I will say is that when you were asking the question on the individual level, I absolutely fundamentally agree with free speech, every single thing you said. But when we're talking on the mass level, misinformation is dangerous. And I think there has to be an accountability. And I think it's our job to call it out. So allow those people to say whatever they want. That's right, of course, but not unchallenged. That is our job. And that is our right to protest. That is our right to petition. So I'm with you 120%. I think that will move us to 100% agreeing, but close enough, maybe.
No. I mean, that seals it right there. It's 100% now because you're coming at it from a freedom of speech angle. They're coming at it from freedom of speech.
Right.
And we don't want disinformation or misinformation out there. Misinformation is actually not, watch this, not that terrible, because what it is a mistake in reporting. So if you're honestly making a mistake, which has happened in journalism for decades, you go back on the news and you go, we have a correction.
Right. We
sorry,
want to retract that statement. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But disinformation is the evil one.
That's right.
Disinformation is when they know purposely that they're lying and they're swaying public opinion. That's disinformation.
Correct.
So that's the thing, right? So that's what we want to steer away from. And Matthew, where can people watch your show? I know your show is growing. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, we're over at The Dumb Show on all social media. We're actually seeing a pretty big spike and growth just on every channel, except for Rumble, which is weird. So if you're over on Rumble at The Dumb Show, go find us. I'm working with them to find out why we're slow growing over there. But I want to thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on and giving me a place where I can go ahead and share that. So you can find us at thedumbshow.com, and that's without the B. And you can find us at The Dumb Show without the B as well on all social media.
The Don't Unfriend Me show host, Matthew Spear. We'll have you on again. Good to talk with you, man. Let's talk again maybe after the show a little bit.
Yeah, Matt. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
You too.
All right.
Drop it hard.
So, watching it again, and I haven't had a chance to watch it. I always try to go back and critique and stuff. I love that guy. He seems
very nice.
He's such an amazing communicator, and his faith is kind of what propels you towards him. And I love the way he actively listens. You can see when you've struck a chord in him, and that tempo makes you better. And those little signals that he gives when you're saying something right, and he's like, it helps you in your overall delivery. And then when you're not saying something right, you can see when he leans in and he really starts focusing on what you're saying. You're like, okay, well, now's a chance for me to balk or just tilt. And I tilt. And when I see those signs that maybe someone's not connecting with me, or they're not agreeing with me, that's the most important time for me to get my point across, because I'm going to lose them. So he is just a masterful interviewer. And what I like about this one versus the other one is that this was a conversation. This was mutual respect. He specifically felt that I would be good in those 3 topics for a reason. And in his text afterwards, which I'm not Candace Owens, so I'm not going to reveal my texts. I'll just say that, he was very kind and offered me a spot to come on if I had a topic that was extremely important to me, and he would allow me to do an extended presentation on the topic that I want to talk about. And that is like that's very much beautiful mind. Here's my pen. And although it's not a tradition when the teachers, when they retire, everyone gives them their pen, which basically means you can write with my voice. You can speak with my voice. Anything you say, I sign off on. Essentially, is the significance of the pen. Giving any type of amount of time on your show to somebody else is trust. And I have that with Leroy. I have it with Damani. I have it with Olivia and Amy. And it felt great for him to at least offer that. So we'll see where it goes from here. I really enjoy RSBN and I enjoy what Matt presents. And I love.
Why doesn't he come on our show?
I haven't asked him. That's a great question. That's a fantastic question. You know what? That I didn't even think of it. I can't even tell you why. What a fantastic idea.
I'm big brains. I bring him to the show.
Look at the brain on Brad. So we'll reach out to him and see if we can get him on. I think it would be awesome to have him on. You know, what a great show that would be. He's a cool cat. Anyway, so that was RSBN. Any thoughts, comments, anything, Mom?
No, I just thought it was a very good interview. I thought it was great. It was good. You definitely were a lot more relaxed than last time.
I could tell. I wasn't nervous last time, was I? You
didn't talk as much as you normally do.
Yeah. Well,
and you were just very short and to the point. And I could tell because I know your mannerisms. You were a little nervous, but this one you were just extremely relaxed and yourself.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think. I don't know if that's described as nerves. I'm trepidatious. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like I'm hesitant because I'm not intimidated by anybody. I don't care if Megyn Kelly. Well, that's not true. But if Tucker Carlson or Megyn Kelly's there tomorrow at the party, it's like I'm gonna go right up to him and be like, "Dude, hi," you know, and hey, Megyn, do you have a second to answer your pager? You'll understand that joke in a second.
Did you order our business cards? New ones?
Shit.
That would have been really nice to have them tomorrow. We'll just use the old ones.
The old ones have nothing on them. Is there can you do quick business cards at like Staples or something? Let's find out in the morning, shall we?
Idea.
Because it says @don't unfriend me. It's all wrong. Like everything on those cards are wrong. So like, how about we do this? How about we call and call Staples or call whatever and see if they can do. I know they can do business cards at CopyMax, but I don't even know if there's CopyMax anymore.
There's no CopyMax. It's Office Depot. Okay,
so we call Office Depot and see if they can do a rush.
Okay.
It's going to cost a little bit, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? And we can order like 100 of them, and it's supposed to be 150 people there. All right. No, I've got a Q code, and we've got all that. And the new business cards have a Q code on them. Yeah, we got it. Sorry, we had to do that. Okay. So what I don't want to do is get right back into another long video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But I think this video really sets up the entire conversation tonight. If I can, okay, you know what? Let's do a funny one. And then we'll go into the heavy one. And it's not that heavy. And it's not the roulette wheel. You're going to understand it just fine.
Okay. That's good.
It's not the roulette wheel. This guy, this is my second time seeing him. And every time I run across him, it's pretty funny. He does a spot on Tucker Carlson. And he's been practicing because he's getting better at it. I'm a little disappointed that he's using a blue mic arm with a Shure SM7B mic. It's a little disappointing, buddy. You've got a Cadillac of mic and a Yugo mic arm. Just saying. Upgrade your mic arm. But other than that, it's fantastic. This is really funny, and this is a good one. I hope you guys enjoy this. And then we'll get into the good one here. Folks, donations are open. $49 is where we're at. We don't want to talk about it tonight. Let's crush it. Let's rock it. Let's make it happen. We want to have this in the rearview mirror so we can focus on the show. Here is this video. This is good. This is Tucker Carlson. Don't call anyone a Nazi.
It should come as no surprise, and something we all understand as Americans, as Christians, that calling people Nazis puts a target on their back. It's a very dangerous thing to do. It's a very appalling thing to do. To call someone a Nazi means you have to shoot them. You have to kill them. And killing people is wrong. It's always wrong. And I really believe that. I really do. Anyone should believe that. Certainly Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro don't believe that. That's disgusting. But I think it needs to be said. It can't be said enough, actually. And stressed enough that when you label someone a Nazi, you are endorsing violence against them. Just a few years ago, the Museum of Tolerance, the Holocaust Museum in Los Angeles, released a list of their top Nazis, who they considered Nazis. These were just some of the people they named. Quite disgusting, actually. It's really disgusting. It's no surprise that the Holocaust Museum in Israel, which I have no problem with at all, I have no issue with. I've been to Israel many times. I visited this country, but it's irrelevant to me. But Yad Vashem also had a very similar list of these names of people who they considered to be Nazis. Okay. Those names, those people, actual human beings, actually, were Adolf Hitler, Heinrich Himmler, Joseph Goebbels, and Adolf Eichmann. It should come as no surprise that all those people are currently dead. Because when you call people Nazis, they die. That's what they do. That's what happens. And we need to be more responsible with our speech. We need to be more Christian with our speech. Labeling people Nazis, calling them Nazis, that is genocide. I mean, it is. It is actually, right? There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to discuss it. There's no other way to talk about it. There's no other way to have these conversations. If you call people Nazis, you are putting a target on their back, and it should come as no surprise that everyone I just mentioned is dead. And they died at the time when they were labeled Nazis. And that should just prove and demonstrate that we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to play that game. It's a lesson we learn from history, and we don't want to repeat it. We shouldn't repeat it. We should learn from history. We should learn from our mistakes. I mean, I've called people Nazis in the past. I do it all the time, but I hate it. And I might do it in this broadcast. I might do it right now. Look at my producer. You're a Nazi. Just kidding. Not kidding. Kidding. We shouldn't do it because it's a threat and it's violent to do so. Calling people Nazis, labeling them, listing them in museums for everyone to see. I mean, that's violent. It's disgusting. We're better than that. You're better than that. We're all better than that. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing Oskar Schindler, who was a liar, and more on Adolf Hitler, who was a painter. We're going to talk about that. This Christmas, give the gift of 8.
He's funny.
Oh,
he's good. The laugh definitely could use a little work, but I love how he goes off on the tangent where it's like he takes these little side roads like Tucker does.
Tamar,
it's like,
thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tamar. He takes these side roads of like, that's disgusting. Yeah, it's very disgusting. And it just, he's pretty good.
I love the bird discussing Schindler. He's a liar. And Hitler, who was a painter. It's whether the tonality is perfect or not, the vernacular is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Because that is the logical merry-go-round or carousel of Tucker Carlson's thought process. Like every time I listen to Tucker, I'm just like, I think you convinced me. I don't know how, but he's so good at connecting sinew and tissue to completely prosthetic things. And he somehow turns them and wraps them and makes them organic. And you're like, okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. Russia, who had bread lines that ultimately brought pallets full of cash to buy a loaf of bread, is a great idea. State-run groceries in Russia are just like the United States. And I watched that video and I'm like, what the hell did you just do to me? It's like some strange wizardry and voodoo magic that he possesses to be able to just talk you into everything you disagree with. And that is a perfect example of it. You're like, yeah, it isn't good to call people Nazis. We agree. And then you're like, whoa, wait a second. Of course it was Goebbels and Heimlich and Hitler were Nazis. What did you just do? That's what he does. And I think people are so anesthetized to it. And that this is just the way he communicates and they accept what he says. Same thing with Candace Owens. And like, instead of stopping and going, oh, this is not okay, they're no longer loyal to the ideas. They're loyal to the person. And I think that's extremely dangerous. If somebody says something 99% right, do we forgive the 1% that's wrong? No, you hit them on that 1% even harder than agreeing with them on the 99. Because once you allow someone to spew lies or nonsense or completely just disinformation or unfactual information, you're giving them permission to do it again. And this is why we're going to go after Megyn Kelly, no matter how hot she is. I'm going after her tonight. Because everyone knows I have a soft spot for Megyn Kelly. Ryan Reynolds walks in, my wife leaves me.
I don't know anymore.
I know he's gone. Okay, so what? Who? Colton?
Mm-mm.
Landy.
Yeah, he's good looking, but
He's not.
I don't.
He's not me.
You know what? I don't know if I have a 5-finger scale anymore. What do you think?
Have I taken all your fingers away? That's because you know what I can do with my little finger.
We know Megyn Kelly's at the top of yours.
Oh yeah, no, there's plenty. Like I'm glad you don't have one. I need more toes and fingers. I would cut most of them off.
Yeah. I'm sure by the end of the week I'll think of one.
Okay, you let me know.
Okay.
Because I won't take that personal. Of course, I'll get completely mad and jealous over what you do, but me, you have to tolerate.
Exactly.
It's completely cool. Mm-hmm. I get it. So here's the video, and I know I'm supposed to play the commercial right now. And honestly, are we still at $59.99?
$69.99. Oh no, it is $59. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, we're going to hit this. This is important. I trust the Don't Unfriend Me Nation. They're going to take care of us. Okay, here's the video. Now, listen, you got to listen, folks. You got to pay attention because this is really good, including you, Livy.
Okay.
This is really good, and this will blow your mind. Make sure you guys share it because this is a good one. Here it is. This I have never heard. Like I said, I wanted to take this guy out and steal his idea. It's that good. Should have chose Henry Cavill for Liv. Listen, dude, Cavill's got nothing on me.
Superman.
Super putts. Seriously. As Witcher, he wins, but he quit Witcher, so it's his fault. See, he was a putz as Superman, and he had the role of a lifetime with Witcher, and he gave it up, to who? Hemsworth's brother?
Liam.
Like Chris Hemsworth scraps. He's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. But my gay brother will. He'll take it. Are you kidding me? I was Thor. You assholes. My gay brother. Liam, come here, boy.
Oh my God, it's just horrible.
Liam, they want to talk to you about a show called The Witcher. It should be fantastic. I'm sorry, I've got to do my 7th Avenger movie and make millions of dollars. You're going to have to take my light work. Yeah. So listen, this is good stuff. And yes, he looks like Sebastian Gorka.
Oh, I didn't even
at
think of
20
that
years
until you
old.
said something.
Yeah, this is what Sebastian looked in elementary school. This is what he looked like. Here it is.
In elementary school.
This is a fake U.S. $100 bill. This is also a fake U.S. $100 bill. Which one is worse?
Okay, whole premise, and you drop the donation. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Folks, I'm going to have to start it over because this is like really...
Okay, so no donations. Got it.
Yes, everyone donate, but we're not going to put them through because we need to pay attention. You're going to get lost. You got to listen.
Okay.
This is a fake U.S. $100 bill. This is also a fake U.S. $100 bill. Which one is worse? You might think that this fake bill is worse than this fake bill because this one's more obviously fake. But wouldn't being more obviously fake make it better, not worse? Doesn't the fact that it's easier to spot as a fake and therefore less likely to deceive people make it better, not worse? In other words, what's worse about this fake bill? It does a worse job at looking like an authentic bill. But this one isn't supposed to look like an authentic bill. It's supposed to look fake. The color's all wrong. It has play money and not legal tender on the front and back. The purpose of this bill is not to trick anyone. The purpose is to teach kids how money works and what the different denominations are, or just for kids to play with. It's not made to deceive. This fake bill was made to trick people. Its purpose is to deceive you. And the interesting thing about counterfeits is that the more authentic they look, the more deceptive they are. The more authentic this fake bill looks, the more people it will deceive. Here's a related thought. The German philosopher Immanuel Kant said, "The only thing that's good without qualification is a good will." The only thing that's good without qualification is a good will. What does this mean? Well, there are all kinds of things that we typically think of as good, but they're actually bad if they're attached to an evil will. So they're not good without qualification. For instance, we would normally think of intelligence as a good thing. But what if this intelligence belongs to a serial killer? An intelligent serial killer who can use his intelligence to conceal his crimes and get away with killing more victims is worse and more dangerous than a dumb killer who makes mistakes and gets caught. Here's a list of the IQs of various serial killers and murderers. Not completely reliable numbers. Nathan Leopold at the top had his IQ tested by the military, and they used a weird test. Some of these are estimated, but the point remains. A lot of people who got away with serious crimes got away with those crimes because they were very intelligent. The world would have been a better place if these killers had been dumber. So intelligence is ordinarily good, but it's not good without qualification, because it can be bad if it's used for evil. What about charisma, the ability to attract and influence people with charm and magnetism? Nick Fuentes has tons of charisma. Charisma falling out of his pockets.
Yep.
And he's intelligent.
Yep.
His charisma helps him become more and more popular. But what's that charisma attached to?
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, time to grow up. Second semester, I got home in the spring and I was like, Mom, Dad, Hitler was awesome. Hitler was right. And the Holocaust didn't happen. That is how those 6 million cookies come crumbling apart and go up the chimney at the cookie baking factory at the Chips Ahoy headquarters. My favorite song is Heil Hitler. My favorite song is Gas Chambers. Hitler alone stood against the communists on one side, the communist Jews on the one side, the capitalist Jews on the other, literally a two-front war. Dude, Hitler had aura. You know what I have to say about that? Hitler had aura. Aura. Riding down the street like this. And everybody's like, Polish people have this bad habit of hating Hitler, and we're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time, okay?
So his charisma helps him win support for seriously evil ideas. The world would be a better place if people like Nick lacked charisma. Think about speaking ability or preaching ability, the ability to mesmerize crowds and make them think deeply about spiritual matters. More than 2 decades ago, I was driving down the road near campus with Nabil, and I played a tape of Ravi Zacharias for him. This was when Nabil was still a Muslim. He listened to Ravi for a few minutes and said, "This guy is the perfect communicator." But as we all found out much, much later, Ravi was using his abilities to lure in victims and to shield himself from scrutiny. His abilities helped him manipulate and deceive and abuse people. So those abilities were not good without qualification. What about Bible knowledge? Surely knowledge of the Bible is good. Imagine the ultimate Bible teacher, someone who knows the Old Testament and New Testament from memory, in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. Suppose he knows every commentary that's ever been written, backwards and forwards. He knows what every rabbi and every church father said about every passage, and he can answer any question you have about any passage in the Bible. Sounds good, right? What if he uses that knowledge to start a cult with him at the center of the universe? No one would be able to correct or refute him because he would use his immense knowledge to justify anything he said or any behavior, no matter how depraved. Who could stand against him? Now for something everyone wants, something that has to be good. Surely it's always good to have a following. Think about Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Candace has one of the biggest podcasts on the planet, sometimes the biggest. But she comes across as a bit unhinged.
Every person who speaks about Israel has to basically say a statement that's like, I don't want to get killed. like literally, you start speaking about it, people are like, Candace, beef up your security. That's not fucking normal. Excuse my language, but that is not normal. Okay, the way that you get comfortable with it is you're like, well, they shot JFK in an open car, so there's not. He's a sitting president. Obviously, my security doesn't really matter. If they want me, they're going to get me. I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. 1000% blame the Zionists. Let that be my parting words. Okay. Andrew Tate said something that really stuck with me. He was just like, at the end of the day, they're just going to rape your kids last.
Guess what? It's good that she comes across as a bit unhinged, because that's a warning sign to lots of people. Candace can still get a huge crowd watching because she's drawing viewers from the entire world.
Folks, stay engaged. And although this may feel a little bit like an Applebee's, you're going to be working at Applebee's. And your job is to be the neighborhood grill. He is presenting in a style that resonates with your learning when you were younger. This is every instructional video we've ever had. This is every tutelage moment you had in school. And he's trying to have you go back past the neurons that have ingrained themselves over repetitive pathways in your brain to reach an area that you haven't accessed in a long time to be a student. So if you feel that and you're like, fight through that crap and continue to listen, because you've got 7 minutes to connect the dots here. By the way, I love his wooden Ark of the Covenant on his shoulder, which is just amazing.
Can you turn down that fan?
No, I'm burning up. Sorry.
And there are tons of people in the world who are really into conspiracy theories. But people who aren't just dying to hear Candace's latest conspiracy theory have been walking away from the lunacy.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom?
Turn it down.
Are you so scared?
Okay, so
They're getting sick of it and losing interest. So Candace will lead a lot of people to some completely deranged ideas, but she would actually be more dangerous if she didn't come across as crazy to so many people. In other words, there are people who stopped watching Candace. They say, I used to love Candace. I had to stop watching because she's so unhinged. But it's actually good that she's so unhinged, because if she wasn't, she'd be deceiving even more people. Her dangerous ideas would be harder to spot. This is why Tucker Carlson is actually more dangerous than Candace. Tucker still speaks at huge conservative events. Tucker spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial.
And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I could just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
Why do we see Tucker at these events, but not Candace? Because Tucker seems less crazy. He's less crazy, so he's less of a risk and less of a threat. He's much safer, so he can speak at all the events. That's weird to me because I see things the exact opposite.
Right.
The crazier someone is, the less dangerous he seems to me because he's easier to spot.
Correct.
I can't imagine Kanye doing too much damage because everyone knows Kanye is crazy. Tucker, by contrast, is going to lead a lot more conservatives and a lot more Christians down a horrible path because they trust him. He doesn't come at you screaming like a lunatic. He nudges. He slowly nudges day after day, week after week, until you're heading in a completely different direction and you can't even figure out how or why you changed course. There are endless examples here, but let's go with an easy one. In 2025, Tucker's been slowly convincing his followers that Islam is good and that Sharia isn't nearly as bad as its critics claim.
Correct.
He's like, you know what Islam means? Submission. And like, let it hang in the air. Like that was self-evidently disgusting. And I was like, I kind of think submission to God is like the whole point of life, but I didn't say anything. I was like, I don't think I'm against that, actually.
But you should know, Seth, that the real danger is Sharia law. Sharia law. And you can tell when you go to a place like Abu Dhabi or Riyadh, like, oh man, I hope we don't ever wind up with a society like this with a rape rate of 0, where you leave your keys in your Lamborghini and don't ever worry about it being stolen. And, you know, if people want to get wasted, they do it at home. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't. Boy, I hope we don't wind up with that.
When people complain about the treatment of women and girls in Afghanistan, where little girls are being married off to much older men, and girls can't go to school past the age of 12, so they don't learn to think, and women can't even speak or show their faces outside their homes, Tucker mocks the concerns.
The Taliban, we hear so much about the Taliban's oppression of women and making music illegal, and they do those things. However,
I never understood why I was supposed to give a shit about that. I mean, I want everyone to be free just as a matter of principle, but that didn't, whether people can, you know, girls can get PhDs in feminist studies or whatever, is of less concern to me, right?
Why should we care if women can't get PhDs in feminist studies? Is that what anyone was complaining about? Look, if you want to say, hey, it's not our country, we don't control the rest of the world, so let's stay out of it, that's one thing. But to pretend that what's going on with women and girls in
Brian, I don't know. It's a pinned message, and you have your magnification on in your phone, so therefore it's overtaking it. That's not the show's issue. But I think there's a way to do it where you can click on the message and hit unpin or hide or something to that effect. That I don't have an answer to your question, Brian. I'm sorry.
Afghanistan is just a bunch of whining about not being able to get doctorates in gender studies. And to get conservatives and Christians to see the situation that way, that seems completely, utterly, totally evil to me. But conservatives and Christians will slowly warm up to Islamic law because Tucker is going to slowly, gently nudge them in that direction. He's going to deceive more people because he's much more careful about it. So, bad qualities attached to an evil will can actually be good in a weird way because they can help you spot the evil. Good qualities attached to an evil will are bad. All right. Have we learned anything yet? Let's find out. Pop quiz. If the devil comes up to you right now, what's he going to say? Is he going to say, A, hi, I'm the devil, and I want to bring you and everyone around you to hell? Or B, hi, I'm your greatest ally. You're very special to me. I want the best for you. So know that you can always trust me. Let's work together and change the world. Now, let me tell you who your real enemies are.
B.
What's the devil going to say?
B.
The answer, obviously, is B. He'll claim to be your greatest ally. The goal of counterfeiter isn't simply to make a fake bill. This is a fake bill. You can make one of these on your printer. The goal of a counterfeiter is to make a bill that looks and feels as much like an authentic bill as possible. And the more the counterfeit bill looks and feels like an authentic bill, the more deceptive it is. So don't be blinded by intelligence or knowledge or charisma or the number of followers someone has. Always look for the goodwill.
Yeah, who is this dude?
Wow.
Yeah,
So
wow.
If you are with me, which I think most people are, That is logic.
Yeah.
And it's incontrovertible. Because he exposes them not for their opinions. He exposes them for their desire. And this is something that we've been doing on this show for 5 years. Is to expose the why. And I just don't have the words that he does. I've explained it in many different ways, and all of them are probably good. And there's people who've clipped my stuff and go, oh, just like I did him, listen to this. But sometimes the best advocate for you is you. And other times it's somebody else. And this guy crushed it. His name is Dr. David Wood. You can follow him on Twitter. I would recommend you do. Super intelligent, and to a point where all he's trying to do is help you identify when you are being deceived, but more importantly, when self-deception is what other people rely on. And this is my problem with Candace, this is my problem with Tucker, is that you're allowing yourself to be deceived and you have forgotten that free will is yours. And you have surrendered it to a human. And humans are fallible. Humans are sinners. And the path of least resistance is for 2 things on earth. The first is water, and the second is human beings. And when human beings are confronted with a difficult time, they will always seek the easiest way to get through. It's just our nature. It's what we do. And the easiest way to get through you and to you through this screen is using things like God, an appeal to authority, an appeal to intelligence, an appeal to logic. And once you give those people and usurp your ability and say, this person is smarter than me, this person is better than me, this person's richer than me, this person has more followers than me, their life is more important than mine, you have done the one thing that is an absolute sin that is not in the first 10. And that is, you have surrendered your free will and given it away to another person. I know what I would say to Nick Fuentes if we were in a debate. And the question would be, how can somebody so smart, who has so much frickin' potential, who could be anything they want, how could you walk down this trap of literally just trying to gaslight every single person who finds value in you? How can you steal away their ability to find the path that's right for them because you are so damn magnetic? How can you take advantage of people's souls? How can you take advantage of people's free will? Why aren't you showing them the path to get to your level of charisma, to your level of confidence, to your level of intelligence? Because it's possible. And although they may not be a replicant of you and they may not be able to surpass you, you can at least teach people the basic fundamentals of uncovering the why in everything they learn, say, and do. And once people are purposeful, once they have a passion to uncover everything in life that they possibly can, I don't care who it is, they will reach their fullest potential of success. And that's what I would ask him. And you know what he would say? What the are you talking about, man? What are you, a nerd? What are you, gay? Are you gay? Are you a Jew?
Sounds about right.
Because he can't answer that question. And when you turn the mirror on the devil and you show him that he wasn't righteous, and you show him that he is inherently evil, and you show him that the castigations upon him were all of his own doing, he'll retreat. He'll fall into what he always does, into himself. We need to start exposing these people. And you need to start asking them the one question that takes away all those things, all those fake and prosthetic things that they wear. Because if I saw Candace Owens, I would say, how has your last 3 months defined you as a Christian? And she'll lash out. She'll scream. You loser. Do you know how many followers I have? Do you know how big I am? Who are you? And you will show the world who they are. You'll expose them by allowing them to be their true selves. And you take off the facade. How do I know this? Because I was Nick Fuentes. I was Candace Owens. Not when you knew me, but at a different world and a different level at a different time. Is I would use charisma, I'd use intelligence, I would use my looks, I would use everything I could to manipulate people to do what I needed them to do to get more. The old saying, it takes a bullshitter. Or don't bullshit a bullshitter. But it takes a bullshitter to find a bullshitter, or don't bullshit a bullshitter is true in this case. He's an amazing person. Follow him. Go and learn from him because he's got some great stuff. Liv, very heavy, huh?
Yeah,
Bobby Richardson, 2110, quack, 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 go Ducks, love you guys.
Got to say it correctly. Quack, quack, quack.
Quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, it's very interesting and a very good way of explaining that. He said it very, very intelligent, but he said it in layman's terms so even everyone could understand.
Yeah. It's really, I'm going to try to get him on. I've followed him. He's excellent. And now it's time to expose Candace or Megyn Kelly just a little bit. And I'm not going to try to focus on this too much. Because I'm not here to try to destroy Candace Owens. Hold on. Where is it? Preview. Force quit. Be the right thing, please.
What was his name? David what?
I don't know. I already put it in chat. Go back. Scroll back. Acts David.
Acts 17 David. I don't know what his actual name is.
It's I'm going to find out for you right now. It is Dr. David Wood. We need to get a hold of him. Mm-hmm. I want him on the show. Love him. Okay. Love at least that. I mean, and he may be a total douchebag. I don't know. But that is good enough for me. Darla says, I've asked God to lead me to honesty on the internet. 2 days later, the Don't Unfriend Me show popped up on my Facebook page. That right there is like, that makes me happier than Candace ever would be. Like hearing shit like that is just, I don't think we ever imagine ourselves getting bigger to a point where we would have to have that situation presented in front of us where we'd have to choose between our dignity and honor and respect and our followers. I never want to be in that. Here is, okay. Do you remember the pager?
Yeah.
When IDF went ahead and did the pagers, mm-hmm. and they hit the Iranian, mm-hmm. Hezbollah, yeah. and Hamas supporters and Houthis and mm-hmm. and the higher command of the IRGC and etc.
Yes.
And we did some good coverage on that. That was pretty solid. So do you know who Mehdi Hassan is? I've had him on the show a couple times on videos. He's mm-hmm. Islamic. He was CNN. He got fired. He's just an abrasive, just like exposing him is simple. All you got to do is just say, Jews are better. Jews are better. And then he's going to all over the place because he just, the guy has absolutely no self-control. And he runs at 100 miles an hour. And if you are not intimidated by his speed talk, he just blows a gasket.
This isn't the dude who abuses his dog, is it?
No, that's another Hassan. Yeah, very good. That's another Hassan. That guy's just a genuine basement dwelling twat waffle. So you know who the Babylon Bee is, right?
Yes.
And the bee is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And the Babylon Bee is funny.
Yes.
So
they make it look just close enough to
real,
right. To where you have to do a double take. And if you're really not paying attention, you are going to think that it's true.
Right. So,
there's been a couple times they've sucked me in. And then I was like, you've taught me to always question and look.
Yes.
And so I did my research. I'm like,
yes.
Oh, now I realize the Babylon Bee is.
Get rid of this Sutani Chanla. Just, dude, wipe your ass with toilet paper, wash your hands. You're out of here. Stop eating curry. It's horrible for your digestive system. Hassan Piker. That's correct. Okay. So I've set this up. So Babylon Bee decides to go ahead and make a post.
Okay.
And it basically says Megyn Kelly gets rid of old pager just to be safe. Because Megyn's kind of flirting with see, there is a shift going on where people are abandoning Trump. They know in 2028 their gravy train's going to dry up. And they have to make a shift. So what they're doing is they're going with the younger generation, which is anti-Jew. It's not anti-Zionist. It's bullshit. It's anti-Jews. They're anti-Semitic douchebags. They hate the Jews. Okay? And that's fine. They can do that. I'm not going to do it. I don't hate anyone, and I'm not going to make a career off of hating people. When Jews are wrong, I'll tell you. When Jews are right, I'll tell you. When Muslims are wrong, I'll tell you. Whatever. Democrats, Republicans. But Megyn Kelly is Tucker's friend, and Tucker has told me, I guarantee you, listen, if Megyn Kelly was here, I'd say it. What?
Linda Johnson. You gotta backtrack. What? You gotta backtrack, Linda Johnson.
I don't understand what backtrack means. What are you talking about?
The scammer from earlier, how you had to do it. I can't do it. I know. They're getting...
Talk about donations.
Donations. You can go to thedumbshow.com/donate. We have a $300 goal, but we always love to overdrive. And we rely on your donations to keep our show free. Because Facebook demonetized us. I can't talk, but...
How far... Oh, Sutani Chanla? Yeah, that's who?
Linda's Johnson.
Tell me when she comes back, because she's not here.
She just posted.
Linda F. Clark?
Nope. Right here.
Just call that out, honey. You pushed it through.
Yes.
Honey, I'm not
Melanie
watching.
Marino Hugs, $10.80. Sorry. Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate
Where
it.
is she?
She just posted on Facebook.
She blocked. Okay, so now I got to go into her likes.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Sorry, guys.
You guys, somebody reply. Hold on. Somebody reply to her. Or someone do her link. They're getting smart. They're blocking me before they come in.
Yeah. Getting smart.
You got to go in. Look at me.
Yeah.
You got to go into their comments. Okay. If you can find her, go into the comment and you can ban her. Okay. Turn up your brightness so I can see the screen. And then we got to go. Hey, no. Don't do anything without turning up your screen. I can't see it.
Okay.
Honey?
Yeah.
Stop doing things. Okay. Now, go to the 3 dots. No. Livy.
3 dots.
Hey.
Yeah.
Olivia Spear.
Yeah.
Don't do anything until I tell you. You keep hitting buttons. Stop doing that.
Okay.
Hit the 3 dots. Okay. Go to see thread. Okay. Give me your phone, please.
Yes.
Open up Facebook. God, you just get so button happy. And a lot of this is your own doing. Because when you block her, then you can't see her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So don't unfriend me show. Switch. Sorry, folks. We got the spammers are horrible. They're evil. They're the drugs of society, and we can't have them in our show.
No.
Okay. So we're going to go to comments. And what is this person's name, please?
Linda's Johnson.
Linda's
Johnson.
What an idiot. Hey, you guys, when you spam, all you're doing is making it harder for us to get them. We see them. But when you go, Linda Johnson, it's going to go away and we can't get her. Let me see. Oh, there's Balls. I got him.
Oh, didn't even see him tonight.
Block, block, block. Boom, he's gone. So Balls is gone. Got him. I blocked her. Well, folks, we're going to try to get this person. They've blocked us. They're smart. They know what to do now.
All right.
So,
Debbie Boggs, $30. God bless. Thank you very much, Debbie. We really appreciate it.
Can somebody tag this woman? That's all I need you to do is I literally need you to do their @ symbol and tag them and put it in here so I can click it. See, Olivia, Linda Johnson, spammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't. We're going to have to stop worrying about it. But they're smart now. They know. I just posted. That doesn't matter. Says it isn't available. All right, whatever. Okay, so before you block anyone ever again, I need to teach you how to block.
Okay.
Are you logged into the Don't Unfriend Me Show account?
Nope, mine.
That's what you need to do. You got to get off Olivia Spear and get into the Don't Unfriend Me Show account. It has master access. Olivia Spear does not.
Okay, I'll do it on my phone.
Great, perfect. But I've told you this before. If you do that, you can only ban them from chat. Then you block them, and then we can't see them to ban them. You can't. If you ban them from chat, they're just going to be banned from chat, but they still have access to the page. But once you do that, you can't see them on the page. And then when we have master moderator access, we can't get them.
Got it.
Don't ban them in chat. Ban them through the Don't Unfriend Me Show account.
Got it.
Cool. So the next time we have somebody, let me know. I'll show you how to do it. Cool?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, here's her profile. Hold on. Sorry, folks. We're almost done. I know.
Thank you, Kay.
Yeah, that's what we need you guys to do is let me see them this way. We'll see if I can log in and see them. Kay Decker. No, that's Kay's personal profile.
Yes.
Okay, we're moving on.
Okay.
Here's the video. Okay, so now that we've lost everybody and everything we're talking about, let's not let them ever do that again, okay?
Okay.
Wait, I just saw it. Go up. Boom, click that. There it is. Get her. Give me your mouse.
Okay.
Turn up your brightness all the way.
Well, you're going to have to do it now.
Just touch your keyboard. That's volume. All the way over there.
Doesn't work. It's on the TV.
Do it now.
It's on the TV.
Do it. I'm trying to get this done and run a show, babe. Block. Okay, is this Olivia Spear?
Yes, this is Olivia Spear. We got to go on the phone.
Give me, I can't do it that way. Hold on, everybody. Give me your phone. Nobody comment right now, okay? Just so we can get this person. Come here, babe, so you can see this. Okay, see that? See options. Are you me? No. You got to go Don't Unfriend Me Show. Is that you? Yep. No, don't touch it. Okay, thanks. Sorry. I know I'm being read, but Okay, so what you do is you click it. There she is. See options. Block from your phone. Block Linda's and new profiles they create. Confirm she'll never come back.
Gotcha. Okay.
You see? But if you do it in live, consider live completely separate from Facebook. What you do on live only blocks them from live chat. This kills them. They can never come back. There's a reason why why people say the devil is in the details marketing to get people to act their way in best interests, inherently evil. Yep. Okay. Sorry, babe. Didn't mean to get all command on you, but you can't just hit buttons because then that's why we can't see them because you're blocking them from chat and then I can't block them anymore.
Got it.
So I've tried to tell the moderators this. Don't get people that way. Just block them through the main profile. Okay?
Got it.
All right. So Megyn Kelly, here we go. There's two things. You got to listen to this stuff.
Okay.
Seth Dillon, Megyn Kelly writes, Megyn Kelly gets rid of old pager just to be safe because they are literally screwing around with flirting with the anti-Semitism stuff, and Megyn Kelly's numbers are going to go up. Because if it's socially acceptable and the new track is that everyone gets to rip on Jews and it's popular, then of course people, in order to make money, are going to say the opposite. Because remember, Megyn Kelly loved Ben Shapiro. She loved Israel. She says, I'm a Zionist. Now, more and more every day, she's starting to move away from it. So Babylon Bee made a joke. Now, Mehdi Hasan, the same thing happened. A post was made to him, and I made it too, and he blocked me. And I said, hey, Mehdi, answer your pager, because he's a Hamas supporter. Good. See you, Bobby. So,
bye, Bobby.
Yes, and Kay, thank you. You did help out. So this is Megyn's reaction way back when the pager incident happened and Mehdi Hasan flipped out. Zionist Jews, everybody wants to kill me. Oh God. And she's like, dude, chill the F out. But now Megyn Kelly posts on her Twitter page, WTF at Seth Dillon, pissed off. And they've had to pull it down and delete it because she got so pissed. Here's her reaction, and I got to call it the hypocrisy. Got to call it out. And I know I like Megyn a lot. If she keeps doing what she's doing, I'm going to keep calling her out. That's why I made this. Megyn Kelly, you look great, by the way, is having a bad week and can't take a joke. Because she also said something else, and we're going to play that video, and Olivia might have an opinion on this one because it's about Jeff Epstein. Here it is.
Mehdi Hasan leaned so far into playing the victim. He reminded me of those World Cup soccer players and their drama, pretending that they're hurt so that they can get a red card or whatever on somebody else. It was over the top. He deserves an Academy Award for did you just say you want me dead? You just said you want me to be killed? What is he? It's obviously the beeper thing is a reference to what Israel did to Hamas supporters and members of Hamas, where they blew up their beepers and in some cases blew up the men holding the beepers. And you were saying, if you support the Palestinians, you later said you thought he said Hamas, maybe he has a beeper. That's the comment. But how do we get from that to, I hope you die?
And notice he didn't say, are you saying I'm a terrorist? His implication is, therefore, I am a terrorist.
Drop it hard.
Okay. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's kind of hypocritical for her to go off on Mehdi Hasan as being a drama queen when she herself, I forgot the English for that, did the exact same thing. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do I say that Megyn Kelly isn't having a good week? I am going to give you, and please listen to me when I say this, Megyn Kelly has made it.
Thank you for the super chat,
Isaac. So Megyn Kelly has made a shift before. You got to go back to the 2015 debate with Donald Trump, where she literally ousted herself from Fox. And when she went after Trump and got into an argument pretty much with him, she left and went to MSNBC, I believe. And this is the Megyn Kelly after that. And I just want you to understand that she wears different faces depending upon where the weather vane is blowing, in which direction the wind blows. Remember that path of least resistance thing? And she's guilty of it. There's one thing I'm proud of. 5 years, we are either completely steadfast in our beliefs and we are ignorant as hell, or we have not changed much except for our faith. And certainly wasn't done because we went through the peak resistance of faith, and the eclipses of it was right before Charlie Kirk, and we were already going to church. So like the pinnacle of low of Christianity and now the resurgence, we were right a month before the resurgence. So we waited until it was the most difficult and the most resistance would be publicly to come out as Christians. So I got to give us credit for that. Now, who knows? Money changes people. And you're allowed to change your perspective. You're not allowed to change your entire ideology, Tulsi Gabbard. I think John Fetterman's a good example. Still a liberal, but has changed some things about his opinion. This is the Megyn Kelly from just a few years back. I just want to show it to you. And I'm not saying and trying to lead you down to dislike Megyn Kelly. I just want you to understand she does change dependent upon where the wind blows. Here it is.
Well, the people with me on stage right now are all transgender kids who want others to know it is possible to transition socially with love and support and acceptance within a family and a community. Please welcome 16-year-old Nicole, 12-year-old Daniel, 14-year-old Gia, 15-year-old Landon, and well, the people with me on stage.
So that's interesting. And I think most people would agree that is a far cry from a conservative viewpoint or anything that we would embrace at all.
She looks totally different.
Oh yeah, she
looks better in older age.
Yeah. Here is, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Here is another video. And listen, the internet's forever. Megyn is hot. I've already said she's hot. She's incredibly hot, and I still think she's incredibly smart, and I like her very much. I think her loyalty to Tucker is she's making a mistake. And her relationship with Charlie, this is all hypocritical. She said, I don't even know Charlie that well. We don't have dinner together or anything like that, but she went to events and they communicated back and forth and said that she doesn't even know Candace. She has nothing really to say about it, but she has no problem tearing Mark Levin apart. You listen to what I'll show you this video, what she said about Mark Levin. Here is this video.
You know, you feel as a victim. You feel a victim. To people who are going to be out there, because you know some are going to judge and say you were 15, you were 16, you were 17, you were a willing participant. Again, the legal age of consent in California is 18, so there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old in these circumstances. As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just
now listen to this. Now I'm going to show you the clip. Now don't judge until I show you the full thing, because I understand what Megyn Kelly is saying here. Pedophilia is not a one-stop for all. I think it's ebophilia, which is between the ages of like 15 and 19. There's a grooming standard when they reach sexual maturity. That is the difference between pedophilia. And so clinically, yes. But in this, nuance is not important here. If you sexually assault or groom or take advantage of a child under the age of 18 years old, nuance is not important. I mean, if you're 19 and you sleep with a 17-year-old and you have statutory rape and you have to be a sex offender registry, is there a difference between that and somebody who diddles a 6-year-old?
Yes.
Of course there is. We make distinctions. Of course we make distinctions, and you should, because every case is different. But when people see statutory rape and he's a registered sex offender, they immediately go, he's diddling 5-year-olds. So what Megyn Kelly is trying to say is there is a difference between the two, but I'm going to show you the extended clip. Don't judge off this because this doesn't sound good, and the way this was cut is in my opinion, disingenuous. And I won't do that to Megyn Kelly, but I'm showing it to you so you have an understanding. Here it is.
Reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters
anything else.
anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10, I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just whatever.
Liv, go ahead. I mean, I'm assuming you've got an opinion on this.
I mean, I can see where she's coming from. Yeah, there is a difference between a 6-year-old and a 16-year-old. It's a huge difference. But it still doesn't make it right.
Right. And should a person of her stature, Megyn Kelly's coming out on the wrong side of things, in my opinion. Just as the Trump administration is coming out on the wrong side of things. The way this has been handled, people keep saying when Charlie Kirk was killed, the conservative movement essentially died. And now it's up for grabs and people are pulling it all in different directions and whoever's the strongest is going to win. I disagree. I think the Republican Party is fractured because of the Epstein shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Donald Trump had a massive advantage and the initiatives, just like when COVID hit. This is the COVID. This Epstein thing is literally ripping apart the conservative party, and it's giving the Democrats all this ammunition to do what they did to Hillary Clinton, which is the drip, 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 drip. If you notice, Donald Trump has now shifted gears. He is openly creating investigations based upon Bill Gates through the DOJ and several other people who have been accused, including the Clintons, of opening active investigations into the relationships with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's a far cry from where he was. Remember, this was Donald Trump. I can't believe we're still talking about Epstein. We're talking about this still? And blew this off. And this is Donald Trump's baby. I mean, this is his abortion. It's his. The way he handled this, the way Bondi handled this, was absolute trash.
Mm-hmm.
And although he did not campaign on it, and a viewer corrected me, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Debbie or somebody corrected me. And whoever you were, I recognized that you were right. And we looked at how he went through his rallies, and he only talked about it 2 times through all of his rallies and campaigns. That's from 2016 all the way up until 2024. He didn't run on this. This wasn't a part of Agenda 47. It wasn't even in Project 2025, which wasn't his. Donald Trump talked about it one time on Fox and Friends, and he was very open. Yep, I'll release MLK, I'll release JFK, and then said, yep, I'll release Epstein. And then, well, hold on. Because some of that information can be misused and anyone mentioned can be held accountable, blah, blah, blah. Donald Trump knew. But listen, here's the thing. All of these supposed emails, now there's new graphs coming out. I'm going to show you these pictures about Donald Trump. And it says that out of the 20,000 emails that they released of Donald Trump, that he's mentioned 16,000 times or 1,600 times. Now that sounds scary, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're like, what? That's insane. But when you fact check this, and if you actually read the emails, this is the problem. People keep talking about it, but they don't read the damn things.
It's kind of like Jews on Tucker.
Oh, God. Here it is. Epstein email cache, 2,300 messages, many of which mention Trump. But what they don't tell you is there's 2 things you need to understand about this. It's not just Trump. It's Trump's administration or mentioning him as president. They don't tell you that Clinton is mentioned. Obama's mentioned. They mention SecDef. They mention chief of staffs. Jeffrey Epstein had an absolute hard-on for Donald Trump. But here's your proof, all the proof you need. Show me one email from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. Because
that's real.
That's it. No. If Jeffrey Epstein mentions Donald Trump 2,300 times, and you're taking the word of a pedophile, a mastermind, a Mossad agent, do you understand how stupid you look? Show me the email where Donald Trump replies or emails his great friend Jeffrey Epstein. Show me the emails. Now, you might be able to show me some from 2004 or 2006 or 7 before he banished him from Mar-a-Lago, before he excommunicated him from his life. because they were friends. We all know this. Show me Donald Trump's email to Jeffrey Epstein. You can't show me. What you do is you show me an old birthday letter, which very well could have been Donald Trump's. We're going to find out during discovery, but he's still going through with suing the Wall Street Journal. Show me an email from Trump to Epstein. You can't do that. And if you can't do that, then this is like me literally sending one of you emails of kiddie porn or something nefarious like embezzlement or extortion. And then you going, yeah, I've got 700 emails from Matt. I never replied. And they all went to trash. In fact, I blocked him. So what you're saying is that you're guilty by association that you didn't even have. There's your email. There's your information. So yes, the 2016 election, look at all look at the propensity. See this massive blob here? These are all the times that he mentioned Trump, and it was all when he was running. Well, let me ask you a question. If you had somebody that you knew who excommunicated you, who you felt set you up, why you went to jail, why you went to prison, and blamed Donald Trump for it, and he did, do you think he might be fixated on Donald Trump?
Just a tad, maybe.
2,300 emails should be like, why is he talking about Trump so much? And how come there's no innuendo? How come there's no, oh, he's diddling kids or anything like that? Because that's not what happened. This is the problem with this information. And this is probably why Donald Trump didn't want it released. And this is why he probably had 1,000 FBI agents scrubbed it. And it wouldn't have been necessary if he just would have released the information completely and not done what liberals do. He should have been transparent. I've got nothing to hide. Screw him. I didn't do any of those things. Let him say what he wants. I don't care. Show me one email where I applied to him. I know I'm right. I'm vindicated. That's what he should have done. He's going to do it now. It's too late. That's my take on it. What do you think?
Yes, I agree.
Oh, come on. That's it? Are you just not into it tonight or what?
I don't know. To be honest, I got over the whole Epstein thing a while ago.
I know, but you can't. You're a show host and we're talking about this stuff. I mean, you got to have an opinion on this. That's why you're here. You're not here to look beautiful. You aren't. You literally aren't. You keep saying that, but that's not why you're here. You're here to have an opinion on these things. And Ash just literally just cranked one that is going to literally melt the wiring in the cable. So that's what she thinks of your answer. She thinks it sucks. 3-word answer on something as profound as this. I mean, when we're talking about this, you should be preparing what you think. But you don't have anything. You don't care.
It's not that I don't care. I don't know. I just don't think there's really anything else to contribute to it. I mean, you pretty much, I mean, it wasn't a video. You just kind of went over what the emails were.
Yeah.
So okay. I don't know.
Do you think Donald Trump handled this correctly? Do you think he handled it poorly? Why don't you not do that right now? Why don't you put that away? Why don't we talk about the show? And stop worrying about all those things. Do you think Donald Trump was right in the way he did it or wrong?
No.
And don't take my opinion. Take yours. I want your opinion.
No, I think the one thing he did wrong is he should have put a leash on Bondi with the Epstein files.
Okay, great. That's a
and I think Bondi is the one who screwed him over on this thing. She had a hard on.
Do you think she did it on purpose?
No, I don't. I think
it was her claim to fame, just trying to get in the spotlight?
I think she's overzealous considering that she went on Fox before this whole thing. She was on Fox and any public channel that she could doing interviews as opposed to doing her job.
Yeah.
And now you don't see her anywhere. So I think Trump swatted her down and told her to you're not the spokesman for the campaign. You're not the press person, whatever that's called, press secretary. Right. You're not the public voice of my campaign. You need to step back and do your job. And that's what I think, because I haven't seen much of her at all.
No, she really, and the weekend shows she kind of disappeared. You're right.
She disappeared.
What do you think about these new comments of Clinton and, them investigating a lot of the names, Chase Bank, JP Morgan and Chase, and Bill Gates and the Clintons, and now they're opening up investigations into these people? Do you think it's Donald Trump giving the base what red meat, what they want? Or do you think there's a genuine possibility that something can come of it?
I think a little both. But as for me personally, I would love to say that this is going to bear fruit, but it's not. And I'm not willing to let myself hope, because I for sure thought something was going to happen to Hillary with those emails. And if she gets away with 33,000 emails and what she did, nothing's going to happen to any of them. They have too much money and too much power, and nothing will happen to them. So I think he's trying to appease his base, and he's trying to walk back a lot so we don't get destroyed in next year midterms. Because I think he sees what happened in this year's election. And I think he realizes if he doesn't fix a few things, that's going to happen in 2026. And then he knows he's screwed. So,
see, you do have it. You just you just need a little poking and prodding, literally. Here are some Republicans' takes, and I can't disagree with these. Thanks, honey. That's what I want. That's what I want from you more than anything is that voice, because you brought up things that I didn't think of, and you're good at this. You just gotta disconnect from the donations for a bit, and give yourself like every 15 minutes go into the donations, and so you can focus on the big meat, because this is for you, right? I mean, because I desperately want your opinion on these things, and I talk to you every night. I know how smart you are. Everyone else needs to know. You know what I mean? And you're hot. Here's the video.
Just the face.
You're not just the face. Mel Lowe, $51.99. Thanks, Mel. $199.68. We're getting close, folks. Watch this video. This is interesting. Real quick.
Watching.
If this comes on the floor, I will vote for it. I want transparency. It's the worst PR job I've seen anywhere. I mean, initially, back in February or March, whatever it was, we have all the Epstein lists right here. We're going to release it. And then all of a sudden, there's nothing. It was sort of they shot themselves in the foot on this.
The Epstein vote's coming to the floor. Are you going to vote for it?
Eli.
Yeah,
you are.
I would. Yeah. I'm going to vote for it if it comes up. I'm not on the Judiciary Committee, but I did want Pam Bondi to come and do some explaining. How is it that you had everything teed up and then suddenly there's nothing? You handed out binders to journalists. What was in the binders?
I'm a Florida girl. I have 2 daughters. So I'm thinking, I mean, I'm sure that the president has nothing to fear.
Yeah.
We do need to know. We do need to know everything about Epstein.
And that is a broad cross-section of the Republican conference right there, from some more moderate members like Congresswoman Salazar and Congressman Don Bacon, who represents the swing district, to more conservative members there from Warren Davidson and Eli Crane. And it just shows you the breadth of support that there is right now for this bill. So a big question is going to be how many Republicans, it would require about 70 or so to break ranks to get that magic veto-proof majority. And if it does get a significant number, that would pressure the Senate to act. The Senate Republican leaders have shown no interest in putting this bill on the floor, but perhaps that could change if the significant number of Republicans do in fact vote for this bill.
I will say this just to reiterate your points. Every Republican that does not vote for this, in my opinion, should be primaried. And here's why. Because
next week,
the old adage, in order to save this house, I'll burn it down, is if the Republicans want to have a life after Trump, they better learn to stand on their own 2 feet. And now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get behind this, listen to me when I say this. If this brings down Trump, so be it. So be it. 2 reasons why. One is it's its own doing. Pam Bondi should have been reeled in, should have been fired. The moment she said this and they did the binder shit, he should have fired her. Just right then. No loyalty to her. Get her out. She misrepresented me. She misrepresented the facts. Here is the interim attorney general until I get a new one. Here it is. Now, you may not like that. But if Trump did something wrong and he actually participated, which I don't believe he did in any way, shape, or form, but if he did, then let him burn. I'm sorry. Let him burn. I don't believe he did anything wrong. I believe that these things are I believe that Trump, what he was trying to do, this is my opinion, is that he was trying to stop the distractions from the legislation, from the things that he has done, from the tariffs, from lowering inflation, a little bit up now over year, but still, energy prices, the peace treaties, and the non-conflict agreements that have taken place, the border security. And Donald Trump was kind of like, what are we doing this shit again for? Why is this important? And Donald Trump is kind of like, dude, how come you can't praise me for what I'm doing? You guys are doing it again. You did this to me in 16, 17, 18 when the economy was the best it's ever been in freaking 80 years. And you're doing it again. And I see his point. I get it. But this is different. This is raping children or raping underage girls. This shit is not going to go away. Mm-mm. And if you think it will, look at what the Me Too movement created. I mean, it literally guilted people with absolutely no evidence just to literally just destroy people's careers based upon innuendo. So when I say this, it's not because I want to see something bad happen to Trump, but if it does, and if this is the thing that brings him down in the public opinion, it is his own creation. He could have put all this to bed. He gave the Democrats the ammunition by saying there was nothing there and playing ignorant. You know who Epstein was. You know what this was about. You know what people were talking about. You've been briefed on this. Come on. Saying, and then I don't need your vote, and saying just the wrong things to say. I think every Trump supporter in this chat agrees with me that he handled this poorly and his administration handled it poorly.
Yeah.
But now there's only one way to fix this, is tell every Republican to vote unanimously. And if you don't know how good that's going to be, look at what Burchett did. Burchett put a motion on the floor for a unanimous consent to release, and Democrats didn't vote for it because they want the Massey and the Ro Khanna bill to pass. They want the credit. So give it to them. I've got nothing to hide. Do it. Here's everything you want. You want to have congressional hearings? Have at it. I'm going to save the country. You fucking people waste time and waste money. Just like you did with Russian collusion and P-tapes and Stormy Daniels and impeachments and all these, the political lawfare. This is just more of that. Go ahead and do it. Do whatever you want to do. I've done nothing. I am not a perfect man. I'm a sinner. I've made mistakes. I've had infidelity with my wife, which she's never admitted, by the way. Show some contrition. Just admit your faults. And then just get it out of the way. Because if you have nothing for them to go on and you release everything, but the fact that they just released 20,000 more emails and not everything's up, well, Bam Bondi said everything was closed. The case was closed. You said that everything was released, and now they just released 20,000 more. This drip, drip, drip is killing you. Just let it out and face the music. That's my point.
That Don Bacon guy better not go to England. He might get arrested.
Huh?
Said that Don Bacon guy better not go to England. Who? It was the congressman that was on the first interview on that last
Bacon?
clip. His name's Bacon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You paid attention. I didn't. I'm horrible. But just get this thing in the open. Put it to bed. I am so sick of hearing about Epstein. Everyone's like, well, you wanted all the files released. And never in my life have I said, I want Donald Trump to release the Epstein files. I'm calling for it now. Release everything. Just let the chips fall where they may. If you're innocent, who cares? And if your billionaires aren't going to give you money anyway, dude, you're done. You're not running again. If they abandon you, so what? Go out there and take accountability. I'm the president of the United States. I'm ordering the Republicans in our party to vote with this. Please don't take it out on them. This is me. I want this done. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide. Donald Trump, the one fault that he has, the only fault, is that he can't admit he's wrong. And it would go so far to come out and just say, hey, this was handled improperly. We're going to set the record straight right now. We're opening up investigations. Screw it. We're going to open up investigations on everybody. JP Morgan Chase donated to Donald Trump. So go after everybody. Everybody. Do exactly what they say and let the chips fall where they may. Because honestly, yes, I told you the other night, this is going to kill the economy and if there's actual CEOs and big businesses in the United States on the NASDAQ. But at this point, what do? because this is going to kill the Republican Party in the primaries. Either you settle this now or they're going to take it to the ballot box.
Yep.
Because pedophile is not what you want. And it's not about the Democrats. They're not going to vote for you anyway. It's the Republicans and the independents who are going to break free from you. I'm included. Because I'll break away. If these Republicans don't actually do this and just get this shit out and put it to bed, I'm going to break. And I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. I'm just not going to go. I'm not going to vote. You're not going to inspire me to go out there and vote for you. Be like, how can you do that? Well, because they're just as bad as the Democrats. What if the roles were reversed? What if it was Democrats? What would you be calling for? Full disclosure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then don't sit here and tell me you wouldn't be doing the same thing. That's called principle. I've got principles. So do you. If this was Joe Biden, what did you want? You wanted all the Hunter Biden shit released. You wanted all the film footage on the cocaine. You wanted his laptop released, right? All of you wanted that. Every one of you wanted that. I told you guys that this wasn't important, but you wanted it. Well, then don't tell me that you don't want Republicans to do the same, because you should. What is she saying?
I asked pickup time. It's 9:30.
True, Matt. The Dems voted it down. Yeah, Kim. Kim says, as heartbreaking as it'll be, it's like a long inhale. Now we need to exhale. Everyone agrees. Let the chips fall. Where was all the screaming under Biden? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What's wrong? Oh, okay. It doesn't matter. Melanie, this is where you're a brilliant lady. And I love you and adore you. But these are your blind spots. The whataboutism. And this is just my feedback to you. I've got problems. You tell me what my problems are. I don't think this is a problem, but let me rephrase that. That sounds stupid. I've got my own misconceptions. I've got blinders that I can't see certain things, and you're good at exposing me on that. I'm trying to help you understand something. You do the whataboutism. Well, what about Obama and Biden? It doesn't matter. Donald Trump is a higher standard. He's the transparency president. He ran on transparency. That is what he ran on. So be transparent. Just release them all. Just get it out there, man. And you know what? The things that are in there are going to really impact a lot of people and a lot of Democrats too. If you think that this guy only talked about Trump, you think that people who went to his island, there is information in there that people don't want released for national security reasons. Just release it. At this point, you're going to turn this into Watergate. No, Christine, that's not true at all. That's all they need is one soundbite. Why? You think Americans don't understand true contrition? That's not true at all. If that was true, George Bush wouldn't have been hailed as someone who was loved after 9/11. The country forgave Richard Nixon. I disagree with you 120%. Why can't he say it was mishandled? He doesn't even say the words wrong. Just say the administration handled this improperly. We saw what happened. We heard what Pam Bondi said. I didn't appreciate it. You guys know that there was some tension there. We're releasing him now. We're going to do exactly what we promised to do. And he's asked for it multiple times. Don't you remember he ordered Pam Bondi to go ahead and release all the documents? And how did they release 20,000 then? Pam Bondi lied to the American people. Why isn't she being held accountable? Why can't Donald Trump admit that? I don't care if the left have that. Run a campaign commercial. He's not running in 2026. He's not running in 2028. He's the president already. This is his last term. He's bulletproof. They can't do shit to him. Fire Pam Bondi. She lied to the American people. She said he ordered her to release everything, didn't he? Yes. She didn't. Fire her. You've got the reason. It's right there. Get rid of her. Give the press the sacrificial lamb and move on. But if you keep this in the paper, I promise you we're going to get our asses kicked in 2026 and we're going to get when are you guys going to listen to me? What else do I have to prove? That politically, this is my playground. That I know this like the best football fan in the world. Or a person who wrote their own concerto. How many times have I been right about this? He needs to fire Bondi and he needs to do a full release. Press every Republican unanimously to vote for this. And then what do? You're bulletproof. And then if something comes out, you handle it. And you put Carolyn Levitt up there and you go, this is the most transparent president ever. Look at what he did. He got rid of an attorney general who wasn't honest with the American people. He's released all the files. He got full party support. We unanimously voted for it. Why do the Democrats, why are they railing against it? Why don't they want this to pass? Why are they hiding? We're opening up our own independent investigations. I thought that's what they wanted. Thought they wanted accountability. Turn it around on the Democrats. But you are slow dripping this. We learned from Hillary Clinton, didn't we? The drip, 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 drip doesn't work. Crush this. Let them use it over and over out of context. They're going to use it over. They're calling him a pedophile, Christine. What else do you want? They're saying he fucks kids. Every single person on the internet, go on Twitter. Go on MSNBC, CNN. They're calling him a kid fucker. They're saying he rapes little girls. What are you talking about? What else could they possibly say? If he didn't do it, then they can't say it anymore. Well, he released all the files. There's nothing there. What are you talking about? And then you can fight back. But right now, the innuendo that something is buried in there because nobody truly knows because they're not released. So there's only one reason not to release them is somebody's being protected. And if Donald Trump is participating in that, I vehemently disagree with him. I don't mean to use the language, but this every single thread is that Donald Trump fucked kids. That's what they're saying. What else do you want them to say? Oh, he apologized? He's not going to, I didn't say apologize. Just go there and admit that it was mishandled. And it was. And blame Pam Bondi and fire her. What has she done? Please tell me one thing Pam Bondi's done. One thing that you're excited about. Nothing. Yeah, I just disagree. Yeah, and if we lose in 2026, he's going to get impeached and he will be convicted this time. The Senate will convict him. You'll have the votes. If you flip the House, you're going to flip the Senate. And enough Republicans will jump over to save face during their... Don't you understand the Republican Party, if he gets convicted again for impeachment and the House has power, the Republicans are going to try to save face. And you're going to have people flip. The neocons will flip. Lindsey Graham's going to turn on him. Rand Paul's going to turn on him. Come on, guys. How do you not see what's happening here? They are making this a 2026. Just like COVID was a referendum on Trump, this will be a referendum on Trump. They've turned around. They're winning the narrative. They're winning. Crush them. Release them. Stop protecting people. Then in 2026, you have a chance in the House, especially if you redistrict. But right now, governors are going against. Kansas is going against redistricting. It's all red. And the governor's fighting redistricting. Democrats aren't getting to have a chance to get Trump out. This is what they want. There's too many people who are opposed to Trump. The only reason they're going with Trump is because they're tying their coattails in because they believe it's the best thing for them. The moment that they feel that his impact and his shadow no longer casts the length that it once did, they will abandon him. This is politics. How can you see this? There's no loyalty here. These people are fucking vultures. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. You guys swore to me she was the most loyal person in the world. She's MAGA. Look at her. Look what she's doing. Y'all, I can't help you see this. This is you. You've been watching this show for a long time. I know you can see these patterns. That is what's going to happen. Take it away from them now. That gives you a very clean run. You've got over a year to get away from it. But you better do it now, because if you have to release them and they pass this and then they do find something, he's toast. He's toast. It'll be on every commercial. Every single person who tied their coattails to him or tied themselves to his coattails will be destroyed in their districts and in their states. Bob Smith worked secretly with the pedophile in chief. He endorsed the kid toucher, the kid blanker, the Epstein files. It'll destroy every single race and every single state across our union. That's what you're going to give them. So get rid of it. Pull the nuclear option. Just drop everything. Drop it all. And then what happens? The indictments that are taking place? So what? So what? It's either lose our country or have people held accountable for Epstein? Which one do you want?
Latter.
I would rather have every single, you know what? I would rather have every single CEO taken care of. I'd like to have them thrown in jail, every celebrity, every politician who did. I would love those things. But honestly, if you're upset and think that elites don't get away with everything that they do, then you're not paying attention. I want Donald Trump to have a presidency for the next 3 years, because I will tell you, we're not coming back from it. If they allow this to go back, our country's gone. You know what's going to happen. They're going to open up the borders. They're going to make sanctuary cities. They're already flooding in key areas. This is why Virginia flipped. They allowed so many immigrants to come in here and naturalize that they literally just ran the elections in all of these areas where they dumped Afghanis and dumped illegals who then got citizenship through Virginia and the soft laws that are here. They are going to do this in every single area. They're going to do it in Oklahoma. They're going to do it in Nebraska. They're going to do it in Kansas. This is what's going to happen across the country. They're going to take over the major cities. They have the recipe for success. We have to stop them. The only way you do that is through voter registry, to clean up the voter registry logs, to ensure that we have oversight, that we look at every single ballot that changes hand, that it has a proper certification process, and you get voter ID. You got to do it. Well, if Donald Trump doesn't win in 2026, none of that's going to happen, because for the next 2 years, they're going to impeach him. He's innocent, Matt. It doesn't matter. Republicans will do what Republicans always do. They will save themselves, and they will cut ties with Trump. $199.68 on donations, Mom. How are we looking?
Nothing else as of yet.
Trump won his appeal on 34 counts. Of course he did, because he's innocent. Would you be opposed to him not allowing legacy media access? Why? Why? But why? Give it to everybody. Give it to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Give it to Crowder. Give it to to Cenk Uyghur. Give it to Bill Maher. I would send it out to everybody. Here are the Epstein files. Everything you want. Everything we got. Here it is. We still have to redact things to protect sources and protect people, but here it is. But there is no list. That's the problem. My opinion, the list holds power through leverage unless there's full disclosure. Probably a lot of influence to keep it under wraps. Carson, great point. Yep. You and I agree. 120%. This is why I love this show. Balls and strikes. Yep. You're right. They are working to win 2028. There must be a birdie in his ear telling him he needs to do this. Yes. Well, there's people like me who've been saying it for how many years? If you remember, there were two things that I said when this first released. I said, full disclosure, release it all. I didn't care about the Epstein files. I wanted the state and local governments to handle it. I didn't want this to be a federal issue, but it has to be a federal issue now. Kay says, good, let the felon in charge go to prison. He was just exonerated on those 34. He's not a felon anymore. Now what are you going to do? What are you going to say now, Kay? What do you mean he's a felon? What charges? What cases? What indictments? What are you talking about? What felonies? I don't know what you're talking about. What a loser. He releases everything outside of the courts, and Russiagate folks get their day in court. Midterms will look better. That's correct. Because when you have full transparency, you say, okay, general public, you wanted full transparency. Media, you wanted full transparency. Politicians, great. Let's have full transparency on Russiagate. Let's have full transparency on FBI involvement of doxing parents and classifying them as domestic terrorists. Let's go ahead and have full transparency on January 6th and how many informants. You want full transparency? Fuck it. We'll do full transparency. I'm going to sign an executive order right now, and Republicans are going to propose pieces of legislation for full transparency. And we're going to go ahead and nuke the filibuster, so we only need 50 plus 1. And everything we want released is going to be released, and I'm declassifying it all. Why not? Isn't that what we want? Don't we want them to burn it all down? Isn't that what we said? Yeah. So do it. You can't have it both ways, folks. You can't have it both ways. Either you want this or you don't want it. Do you want it? Or do you want Trump to be cautious? Do you want Trump to have his hands on the reins? Do you want him to make the decisions that we put him in place for and trust his judgment? Which one? You can't have it both ways. Either you stand by him now or you abandon his ship. Which one are you going to do? I'm standing firm. I am completely fine with him fighting this the way he's fighting this, but I still think the Epstein files get released. You got to take it away. So who was that happened to the guy who said that they released all the files? That was Pam Bondi. Matt, what's your opinion as to why Trump and Republicans are not taking any actions by addressing this issue? Fire Republicans that have not done their job they took an oath to do. Because the president of the United States can't fire a senator or a state legislature. That's not within his power. He doesn't have that power. He is the executive branch. The Department of Justice is essentially over his purview, not the Senate. It's a separate body. He doesn't have those powers. Emma says the Don't Unfriend Me show, I will. I will what?
Huh?
I don't know. She said I will. And let them have a day of it. Love your answer. They also want results on accountability. Burn the whole thing down. Yep. That's good. Isn't the judges blocking the release? No. Don Bradley, $15. Thank you so much, Don. The current indictments and the grand jury testimony and those files, they are completely blocked by judges. But it doesn't matter. If the government has one document that hasn't been released, then you're withholding documents. Release it. Didn't we learn this with the Iran-Contra hearings? I mean, come on. How long do we want to let this go on? Last thing is people are talking about this new pipe bomber. That's a whole other conversation. Liv, do you need to go?
Yes, I need to go. In a
Love you.
couple
Get out of
minutes.
here.
Okay.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Love you. Night, y'all.
Hey, folks, we're at 214.68. We are still way behind on donations. Need some help to get there. Have you put in everything, Liv?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
I have.
We're slowing down, huh?
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, if you're going to do it, now's the time. Ollie North. I love that guy. Me too. Thanks, baby. I love you. You going to go get yogurt? Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Do we have any more cereal left? Can you pick up milk? You can't stop by a little store down there? Okay, never mind. Love you. That was easy. Okay. So we got more to do. Let's see what else. Okay, a lot of people are I want to give Tucker Carlson some credit on some stuff too, because he did come up with some cool stuff. Everyone's talking about this assassination attempt. And Mark, I got so much to cover. I can't do Venezuela tonight. What's up, puppy? She's okay. Mommy's gone. Hey, Ash. It's okay, baby. Mommy just went out for a minute. She'll be back. Ash, it's okay, honey. Ash is flipping out. Go through the curtain. Go ahead. Go, go, go. You can go out there. It's okay. You've got it. All right. So here is, everyone was saying that the Tyler Robertson assassination was impossible and he couldn't break down the weapon. First of all, Sean Ryan did this, and this really pisses me off because I really like Sean. But he's like, he couldn't have broken down that weapon after he fired. Nobody says he did. The weapon was in his hand. It was wrapped in a blanket. We saw it thrown down. I've broken down the video 100 times. Why can't people just be honest? But to do this rifle, it is a single bolt. I can show you with my M1 carbine. It's a single screw at the bottom. Pull that out, and it literally comes out of the wooden housing. And this is a demonstration of how long it takes, just so we can all be on the same page. Okay, I got to let Ash out. Do you want to go out with Mommy? I'm going. All right. So here's the video, just broken down in seconds to break this thing down. Watch. That's it, folks. 15 seconds. Not hard. And here's the thing. When this trial happens, people are going to feel so stupid. People are going to feel so dumb. And, oh, it's all fake, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. People can't answer this simple question. You're telling me that within 72 hours of Charlie Kirk having a difficult conversation with vendors who happen to be Jewish, that in 72 hours they programmed and got this kid to throw away his life, have his father turn him in. People forget there's a person in prison. You understand this, right? This isn't a movie. So their answer now is, Matt, super chat. What? I already called it out. Didn't I just call it out? Yep. 1999 from Robert Stubblefield. Yes, I called it out. Thank you, Robert. So now they're saying that it's MK Ultra and it was a brainwashing. They make my job really hard. They make it really hard for me. Like I'm so frustrated because I feel like I'm trying to boil the ocean. You know what I mean? And it's like there's only so many things I can tell people. Like this isn't hard. Do you know what it feels? I feel like I'm a guy on an island. And I'm surrounded by just the village idiots. And I listen to people break this shit down. A 308. Or what did they say? A 30-06 would have blown his head clean off. Oh, really? Because Martin Luther King was shot by a 30-06 in roughly the same spot. What happened to him? I've got some photographs. Would you like to see them? People don't talk about tumbling. They never do. They think every round you fire just shoots straight. They don't understand about spin ratio. They don't understand about boring of the barrel. They don't understand about low quality ammunition, that the time of the ammunition, that the degradation of the ammunition is going to have an effect, that ammo can degrade over time depending upon what type of ammunition it is. All of these things are possible. And if the round tumbles, it is a completely different makeup, penetration power, stopping power, all of this. And you've got special forces guys on YouTube who are like, oh yeah, man, where's the blood? Where's the blood at? There's no blood in the grass. Are you kidding me? So I'm just a little tired of it, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just a little sick of these people who pretend to be experts. And there's no personal accountability from any of these people. They'll never apologize if they're wrong. And they'll never accept any story. And people, well, they're just asking questions. No, they're not asking questions. They're laying a path of deception, and they're giving you breadcrumbs to get to a conclusion. They're manipulating you. You're being manipulated. And you've got to open up your eyes and see it. And it's not like I'm trying to tell you the truth because I don't know what happened. All of their stuff could be true, but what I will tell you is that they have no earthly idea what the truth is. They're just making it up as they go along. If a 30-06 tumbles, if it entered here and it fractured or it splintered, that's just the way it's going to work. We've had some conversations about Steve Bannon on this show. You know, I want you to understand is that Steve Bannon has essentially abandoned, or Donald Trump has essentially abandoned Steve Bannon. Well, we're going to talk about the Butler shooter in a second. We got to hit donations, folks. I mean, I can't keep staying on. We already missed $300 this week. Got to do it. I got to put these in too. I hate it when Liv leaves. You can tell it's the end of the week. I'm definitely tired. Let's see. I got to put these all in. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Oh, bless America. Can I tell you how much I hate donations? I hate donations. I love that you guys do them. I just hate having to worry about them. I'd rather we just go back to the old way of the show, because now we're cooking. Like, we got the show down pat. We're really starting to do some good work, but this slows us down. Jennifer McCarver, thank you so much. $10. Appreciate you. That should be coming up lickety split. Says, love you guys and my dumb family. My dumb fam. Thank you, Jennifer. Save tip. That should pull up. And it did. Jennifer McCarver, $10. Thank you. Let's see. Do I have any more? Oh, we had $19.99 from, who was that? Who just did the 19? I think it was Robert. Great show. Got to cook dinner. I'll be listening. All right. So I'm going to say that, and just to get this thing in here, Robert, I'm not going to put your comment in because I just read it. Thank you, Robert. Stubblefield. Oh, I butchered that. Butchered it. All right, there it is. Okay. Okay, so Robert, thank you. Steve Bannon. I trust him over any so-called specialist. Who? Steve Bannon? My neighbor, Old Man Rancher. Oh, still makes bullets, hits shoes, everything. He also restores old guns. I trust him more than any so-called specialist. Yeah, I trust my eyes, and I trust my friends. And I trust people who have done it for a living. I trust... You know what? I got a buddy of mine who is Force Recon Sniper. I'm going to call him, have him come on the show, and just see what he says. I'm going to call Will right after this, and I'm going to get him on, and I won't even prep him. I'll just start asking him questions. See what he says. Here is Steve Bannon. Yeah, and Candace Owens can't even explain MK Ultra. Yeah, I know. It's hilarious. She's a knucklehead. All right, here's the video. We're at 244.67, folks. We're about $60 shy, and would appreciate if we could hit that so I can go when my daughter gets home, because I haven't seen her all week. Here is Steve Bannon. Take a listen to this. See what you guys think. Tell me.
But I say about Fuentes.
He's talking about Nick Fuentes.
If you want to see the new versus the old, and you just see the facts, is watch, and I should play it here on Word. We got to figure out when to play it in the 6 o'clock hour. Alex Jones had a debate with Nick Fuentes and Dinesh D'Souza. And you see right there, the laziness, the lack of argument, their attitude that they just own this. Fuentes takes this guy apart brick by brick.
No, Dinesh D'Souza mopped the floor with Nick Fuentes. What are you talking about?
Full takedown. It's a full takedown. Because the kid shows up, he's prepped, he's ready. Not only is he on point and he's always on attack, he happens to have something called facts. And he just overwhelms Dinesh. Dinesh goes back, and it shows you this old guard who has nothing. None of their policies have worked. If the policies had worked, why do we have so much debt that's out of control? And they were part of the problem. Why we spread off a hell's half acre and spent $9 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan? Why we had a foreign policy and a commercial policy that allowed and paid for the rise of China? They were all part of that. They said they're Democrats. That's not just Democrats. It's the Uniparty. And Conservative Inc. is kind of the clapping seals of the Uniparty. They did nothing. They had no fight. They never fought back. You go back to that stage where Raheem said at the beginning of the 16 or 17 candidates they had up there against Trump, none of those, you could combine all that, and they couldn't have beaten Hillary Clinton. Their arguments are vacuous. It's really from a land that time forgot. This was the problems in New Jersey and Youngkin's campaign for Sears in Virginia in the Commonwealth. In the governor's race in New Jersey, they're running on a playbook that's 1990s. It doesn't work anymore. The world has changed because they allowed it to change against America and American workers. Remember, H-1Bs, all this, everything we have up here. We had Natalie up last night about all the research that's still being paid for by the United States and China. The Republicans know all that, and they're good with it. Conservative Inc.'s good with it. They might write an editorial in the Wall Street Journal, but or talk about it in some salon on the Upper East Side of New York. But that's all they're going to do. They're going to
listen. I agree with Bannon on a lot of what he said. I just don't understand how he could possibly think that Nick Fuentes won that debate and call those things facts. Dinesh D'Souza absolutely dismantled Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes' history stops at 1948, 1942, 1932. You know what? That's not true. 1900s, 1870, because he'll talk about the Bolshevik Revolution, but he won't talk about the Roman conquerors. He won't talk about Palestine. He won't talk about Judea, Samaria. He won't talk about the difference between what the Palestinians and the Philistines are and aren't. He won't talk about. He'll talk about the Anakazi Jews, but he'll try to go ahead and say that all Jews in Israel are European. This guy has talking points, and all you need to do is read the Aryan playbook, because that's his stuff. Now, I'm not saying Nick Fuentes isn't smart, but he's not Dinesh D'Souza. And honestly, I'm not even a huge fan of Dinesh D'Souza, but Dinesh destroyed him. Period. And I was looking, and I enjoy Nick Fuentes when he's on and he's having a good debate, because Nick Fuentes is not a stupid person. He says stupid things. There's a difference. And honestly, I know that Nick Fuentes does not love Hitler. Okay? I'm completely aware. There is a joke inside the Groypers where they do this, and they do this because they say extreme shit, because they laugh at people, and they like to get reactions, and they like to trigger people. But when you say it as much as he says it, you talk about it as much as he talks about it, it's really hard for anyone to believe that you're joking around, because the Groypers aren't. His group are absolutely, they love Hitler. They hate black people. They hate Jews. They hate women. And it doesn't matter. Nick Fuentes, more than likely, is a midget Mexican homosexual, just to be completely honest with you. He finds the relationships with men much more appealing than with women. He has latent homosexual tendencies. Everyone can see the way he talks, the way he looks, the way he acts, his mannerisms. But like most white supremacists and people of that nature, most of them are frauds. And if you look at his lineage, he's not a pureblood. Hitler would have thrown him in the chambers with everyone else. And that's the truth. But he is just a Mexican gay midget, and that's just the way he is. But you have to remember what the gentleman that we talked about just a little bit ago, it was about charisma gets you a long way. And he has an ability to have people stop using their logic and replace it with emotion. And this is because people emulate who they are through Nick. So when you attack Nick, all of his little boyfriends attack you too, because when you attack Nick, you're attacking them. They've attached their identity to him because they feel that he is the person who is going to destroy the machine. They actually think he's going to be president one day. They think he's going to be the leader of this country. I will tell you right now that Nick Fuentes will never, ever, ever have a life in politics, because he's much too dangerous for the establishment, because he's unpredictable and they can't control him. Donald Trump got in. They'll never make that mistake again. They will do whatever they can to destroy somebody before they even get to that point. But they did not see Donald Trump coming. And in 2024, they tried to do everything. Look at all the indictments. Look at Donald. If you don't think that Donald Trump has some sort of influence from God, I don't know what else could possibly be true. They did everything they could to destroy this man besides putting cyanide in his tea. And still he came out clean on the other side. I'm not worried about the Epstein files. Release these effing things and get it off of our plate. Here is Jesse Waters and his take on some of this. Here it is. Oh, and by the way, this might sound familiar, like Jesse's stuff always does. To the writer who's on Jesse's staff who keeps watching my show and taking my talking points, can you stop that shit? Can you possibly pick up the phone and call me, and maybe I can come on, or maybe I can write a segment for Jesse instead of literally typing all my freaking talking points? Because this shit's getting old. This happens all the time, man. All the time.
The Jeffrey Epstein emails. Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to frame Trump. But we've been combing through them and can't find anything nailing Trump. Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking gun. The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals, like anti-Trump author Michael Wolff. He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Why is Wolf giving a pedophile PR advice and coaching him to take down the president? That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book. That reporter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation. Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama, was also pen pals with Epstein. He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice? Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media.
I want to make a correction. This isn't the water segment I was talking about. There was another one, but this one's just as good. And no, this is I said none of this other than a very brief meme last night that talked about Summers and talked about Gates and everything. So I just want to make a correction that this is not the same one.
He had foreign connections. Before Trump met Putin in 2018, Epstein was pitching himself to the Kremlin, saying he could give Russia insight on Trump, which is weird because if the Kremlin was controlling Trump like the Democrats accused him, why did they need insight? He wasn't just any old rich American. He was well connected to top players all over the world, from Israel to Saudi Arabia. And it wasn't a secret. Epstein went to Clinton's White House 17 times, and Slick Willie was a frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express. Clinton and Epstein seemed like pals, but when it comes to Trump, Jeffrey had TDS. I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump, not one decent cell in his body.
Yeah, so listen, there is something called motive. And leaving a string of emails that degrade Trump during his election and seeing him about to be president of the United States had to be difficult for Epstein, who collected people and power. And seeing those things must have been disconcerting for him, for sure. I'm going to give Tucker some credit here. And then, folks, we got to go. Actually, I think I've got 2 left. So if we can hit goal, that would be awesome. We are $66 away. Did you find value in the show? Did you like the show? If you've never donated before, if you haven't, just know that the monies for the show goes right to us. It goes to pay for the lights, pay for the internet, pay for the cameras, pay for the software, and all the things it costs to run a show. This show is entirely funded by y'all and obviously social media where we get some advertising dollars. But you are the reason this show stays on. You're the reason why we have a wonderful set and we continue to do this show. And we would really, really like it if you have the opportunity and things are going okay to help donate to the show. And that would be awesome. I'm trying to find this Tucker clip. Let me find it. So Tucker, there was some files released on Crooks. And he did a segment called Who is Thomas Crooks? It was about 34 minutes. It was very, very well done. I had a chance to watch it today. I'm looking for the shorter version of this. But it really goes into Crooks's profile online and who he was. I'm looking for it. 26 seconds. That's not long enough. Where did it go? I just set it up and I don't know if I'll be able to find it. There it is.
Because they came at the final.
Folks, this will be our last. I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock. I got to go. We can't keep staying online, but I do have to show this thing. So I'm going to show this and then we're going to go. If you haven't had a chance to donate, please help us out. Let's hit that goal. Thank you. Here it is.
These remarks were especially notable because they came at the final phase of Crooks's YouTube commenting. At that point, a new character emerged into the conversation, a user named Willie Tepes, who started pressuring Crooks to commit violence. For example, quote, "If a gun and a badge is all that is needed, then authority obviously comes from the barrel of a gun. We have more guns than they do. There is no way we can avoid a war at this point. So you better just get used to the idea. We have nothing to lose and everything to win. And the alternative, a global police state, is unacceptable. Nothing in life is simple, but that is no argument against doing it." So who is this Willie Tepes? Unfortunately, we don't know. The FBI hasn't made any mention of him in public, although they certainly know he exists. Just days after the shooting, somebody screenshotted Tepes's YouTube account page, despite the fact he had very few followers. To the extent that he can be traced online now, you can find his username being used on a foreign Antifa website. Those sites link him to the Nordic Resistance Movement, which has been designated a terrorist group by the U.S. State Department. That's all we know. We do know, however, that Crooks' online footprint abruptly ends after his encounter with this mysterious figure, Willie Tepes. Regardless of whoever Willie Tepes is or was and what his motives may have been, who he may have been working for.
So if you guys don't know the etymology of Tepes, it was Vlad Tepes, who was also known as Vlad the Impaler, became the inspiration for Dracula. So something interesting to at least get the person's name. One of Dracula's abilities was to influence people and sway them with his gaze and his ability to not use telekinesis, but use his charms to influence his victims to surrender themselves to his blood-sucking ways. Interesting, just when you apply that to the Crook situation.
There is no doubt that Crooks was ripe for recruitment by someone. From early 2019 to mid-2020, as his political views were evolving, Crooks searched for Trump more than 700 times online. He also searched for Jack Ruby, the man who assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald. He then submitted queries for craziest chemical reactions, cars running over protesters, best places for mass shooting El Paso, Trump Civil War, Orlando shooting reaction, firing an AR-15 as fast as possible, fertilizer bomb, how to make napalm, how to make a Molotov cocktail, mass shooting Canada, Oklahoma bombing, and sniper in Dallas shooting. He also searched for American Nazi Party, German National Anthem 1933-1945, Hitler's speeches with subtitles, neo-Nazis, and, quote, why gays need to go. So here you have a volatile, troubled, possibly mentally ill young man with a long record of espousing violence in public. The FBI clearly knew he existed. And then you have, at the very end of his years commenting in public, espousing violence, an exchange with a mysterious figure affiliated with a group that we know is being monitored by the U.S. State Department. It turns out that around the same time that Thomas Crooks was making these searches and posting overt threats of violence against public figures on YouTube, the FBI was issuing contracts to private sector tech surveillance firms to harness the power of mass data collection tools that would monitor social media for people just like Thomas Crooks. It's hard to imagine that Thomas Crooks, who was making these posts publicly and in his own name, had not been identified and looked at closely by federal law enforcement. In fact, it's impossible to imagine. What do we know? Well, we know that the FBI had access to these YouTube comments, and rather than giving us valuable information about them, giving us a sense of why Thomas Crooks did what he did, they used a selective read of those comments to lie about what Thomas Crooks was thinking. 2.5 weeks after the attack on July 30th, a source familiar with the investigation told CNN that, quote, federal investigators are looking into a YouTube account possibly connected to Crooks in which the user espoused political violence as well as anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes. Well, of course, it wasn't possibly connected to Thomas Crooks, as the FBI knew full well it was Thomas Crooks' account. There was never any question about that. And yet the same day, the FBI's then deputy director made the same dishonest claim before Congress. The week previous, then FBI Director Christopher Wray publicly questioned whether Trump was even shot.
With respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear.
In February 2025, the New York Post reported that, quote, the FBI has obstructed efforts to solve the mystery of why Thomas Matthew Crooks, who left no manifesto, did what he did. And this fact, said the Post, left local law enforcement as well as Crooks' former friends, classmates, and teachers frustrated. The level of lying and obstruction is shocking. Less than a month after the shooting, Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a former police officer, traveled to Butler to conduct his own investigation into what happened. When he arrived, he discovered a disturbing fact. The FBI released Crooks's body for cremation 10 days after July 13th. This wasn't known to the public until Higgins arrived in Butler on August 5th, when the coroner told the congressman, quote, he would never have released Crooks's body to the family for cremation or burial without specific permission from the FBI. The timing of Crooks's cremation is notable. The day Crooks's body was burned was also the day the House Homeland Security and Oversight Committees had begun their investigations into the shooting. The fact the body was cremated made it impossible for investigators outside the FBI to verify the coroner and autopsy report. You can't do a new tox screen because the body doesn't exist.
All right. I wanted to close with this because this really sums it up. I'm going to put you back on screen.
Okie dokie.
So, what's provable? In that video, Thomas Crook's profile is provable because Tucker Carlson got access to his Google records, search records, what was on YouTube, everything else. All of that's great. So he leads you off with the bait. And you see this big juicy worm and you're a fish and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good looking worm. And it's real. It's not an artificial lure. You can smell the worm. You can taste the worm. Although fish don't smell, but you get my point. And it's very appealing. And you take a bite. And the thing is that you get hooked. And a fish doesn't understand, hey, I'm hooked in the gills, hooked in the mouth, in the jawline. And the problem is there's two different types of fish. And there's a lot of different types of bait. And if it was a fly, you'll usually hook the fish in the mouth because they take it in not knowing if it's a leaf or something else, and then spit it back out if it's not real. So they don't swallow the fly. And it gets hooked in their mouth. But with a worm or bait, they swallow the whole thing. Because the moment that they take it in, they swallow it and it goes into their stomach lining and hooks them in there. And there's a difference between a way a fish gets hooked. When you're bait fishing, a fish gets hooked into sometimes it gets the gills, sometimes it gets the jaw, but most of the time it's in and you need a degouger to put it in the fish and pull out the hook. And sometimes the fish fights so hard, not understanding that it was their resistance which ultimately gets them caught. And swallowing the bait whole without thinking because they're not capable of that thought process. I am not comparing people who watch Tucker Carlson to a fish. But I am saying that sometimes people bite the bait without thinking and without learning, because there are fish that do get hooked in the mouth and they escape and then just go back and do it again and again and again and again because they have to eat and they don't have the thought process to learn from their mistakes. Once he releases this Thomas Crook stuff, that is when he gets to lay the groundwork for where he wants to take you, which is to give you innuendo, weirdness that a body is cremated 10 days after the FBI investigates, when that's not strange at all. In any way, shape, or form. They hosed down the top of the roof. So what? The FBI did it. Well, the FBI didn't want people up there. And for insurance claims, we found out that the actual building itself said specifically that they didn't want certain people who were uninsured to do so, and they wanted the police to do it because of the amount of blood, everything else. So he likes to lay these tracks for you to follow, and he will not allow you to diverge from where he wants to take you. And he will not ask the question himself that his audience would ask, and therefore he has a predetermined goal to take you somewhere, and he takes you there. I will give him credit. This is amazing. This is great information. He will not allow you to draw your own conclusions. He has to interject with the things that are speculative and the supposition, because that's what he wants to do. That's ultimately the payoff. As you fight on the hook and fight on the line and struggle with the indecision, it doesn't matter. He's got you on a line. He's taking where you are going to go. And the resistance that you're giving is the illusion that you're fighting against it. You're not. There is no fight against it. You're on a string. You don't have the weight and mass to break it. The test is too strong. The reel is too strong. The flex of the rod is too strong. And the person on the other end is too strong. You're a fish. And you are under the illusion that you're going to get to a destination that's predetermined by your own free will.
It's kind of like that card trick. I know that magic card trick. I know.
and this is it. You're a fish on the hook. And the reason why you don't know is because you trust the million other times that you've ate something and didn't go through this process. This is ultimately what Tucker does. And then he starts laying the supposition, the innuendo, and you go down that, oh my God, it's a conspiracy. When you have a person who was influencing crooks, that's the way the internet works. Do you know how many times a day I read the internet where somebody says, we need to resist, we need to get a weapon and fight back, and I report them to the FBI? Well, does that mean that person had influence and somehow I get involved in a shooting or something and that person convinced me it was MK Ultra? Folks, Thomas Crooks, if he's insane and he's Googling all of these things, mass shooters, Canada, how to run over people, how to make Molotov cocktails, how to make bombs, how to make an AR-15 fire faster, then he didn't need much prodding.
What's up with has to have a manifesto in order to be guilty? I mean, isn't manifesto just like a journal or a diary or writing down? I don't keep a journal or a diary.
Yeah, but you're not going out and shooting the president of the United States either.
I understand that, but not everyone keeps
But if you
a
killed
journal.
yourself, would you leave a note? It's just a question.
Probably.
Yeah, you would, right? Well, a person who's about ready to go shoot the president knows he's not going to die. Kennedy said it best. It's not that hard to kill the president. The only thing is a person who's willing to exchange their life for mine. The moment that he decided to kill Trump, he knew he was going to die. You can't escape that. No. Charlie Kirk is one thing because you don't have multiple weapon systems firing back at you. You go into a secure location like that with snipers, you're going to get clocked, and they clocked him. And I love Higgins and I love Eli Crane. Eli Crane went there too. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. The thing is that leading people down a path without allowing them to ask questions is what we try to do on this show. That's why we interact with our audience. Because if we're not on the right path, we'll get corrected. If we are on the right path, people still interject things and help us and guide us to the right spot. That requires a lot of faith and trust in your audience. Go ahead, babe, put that in.
I was making sure you hadn't put it in yet.
I didn't put that one in.
Okay.
So I appreciate Tucker, what he uncovered, because this is great information. What I don't appreciate is attaching the subtle, look at what I've discovered. Now you draw your own conclusions when the end goal conclusion is that he wants you to believe that the U.S. government tried to kill Trump. And I will say this again, there's just a simple question. The United States government is very, very strong at political assassinations. We believe that they killed Kennedy. We believe we assassinated Gaddafi. We assassinated people in the Mujahideen and ISIS-K, and Paul Rivera donated. Wish I could do more. One day soon, I'll drop what I need to. Love tonight's show, Balls and Strikes, Matt. Love it, brother. Thank you so much. So the United States is proficient at killing, and they've been doing it for quite a long time. Do we really believe that if the United States government wanted to kill President Trump, that they wouldn't have? So you just ask the question. Why would they use some kid? If the government's all-seeing and all-powerful, why wouldn't they use a bomb? Why wouldn't they use a drone? Why wouldn't they use a high-powered rifle? Why wouldn't they have used the water tower? Why wouldn't they have jammed communications and put an EM transmitter out there to block communications? Block radio signals so the Secret Service couldn't communicate and coordinate where the shots were coming from. Government has these abilities. Why would the government even get involved? Why don't they just poison him? They control the Secret Service. You don't think someone can drop something in his Diet Coke or his Big Mac? Why not do something completely suspicious that's not suspicious and do a form of arsenic or give him something that'll give him a heart attack? Come on, folks. I mean, seriously, now, you guys give the government way too much fucking credit. Now, I know I'm a Fed and everything, and I'm a plant, but you give him way too much credit. Isn't that what Dr. Video showed earlier proved his point? I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's exactly it. But Mel, understand is that this is what I'm like, I'm trying to help you guys connect the dots at the end of the show with everything we talked about tonight, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've shown you, which is exactly what the doctor said. Yeah, so, like, I want answers too. I'm not saying accept the official narrative. That's stupid. What I'm saying is don't create one just because you don't have one. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't just create one. Anonymous donated $20. Thank you, Anonymous. I don't know who that is. Dude, what is up with Anonymous? Why? But that's my point. It's like, if you don't have the answer, don't create it. People are so uncomfortable with not having the answer. I'm going to show you one video and then we're done. This is Jennifer Welch. This lady, this lady is to see you next Tuesday. Yes, Mel, that's your point, and I appreciate your point. It's a good point. Thank you. This woman is to see you next Tuesday. No redeeming qualities whatsoever. First of all, she literally looks like a vampire. Like, that she has to suck the blood of the innocent in order to stay remotely youthful. Otherwise, if she doesn't, she'll turn into an old crow, and with gray streaky hair, it's greasy and wrinkles and resemble
She must be the fourth Sanderson sister.
Is that another stupid reference for that show I've never seen?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they
thank you, Sandra.
They suck the souls out of children to stay relevant.
Sandra St. Ors?
Yes.
This is a new person.
It is.
Donating $25. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
Sandra, you're new. Where is she from? She YouTube, Facebook?
I don't know.
Sandra, where the hell are you from?
When they donate, it doesn't say.
All right. Now here's Jennifer Welch. Okay. Watch this. This woman is despicable. Just like, you know what I wish? I wish somebody would have a kerosene heater and put it next to her so she would melt and go away.
Yeah, she does look like a wax figure. Maybe
she
belongs in the wax museum and needs to eat a cheeseburger.
Joan Rivers has been dead for a while, and she looks better than her.
Exactly.
Seriously. I mean, this woman. No redeeming qualities. I guarantee you she's single. I mean, without lithium ion, this woman would have no love life. Here it is.
Think about teenage girls that you know.
Oh, her language is horrendous.
That are 14, 15, 16 years old. No matter how developed or underdeveloped they are. Think about how childlike they are mentally and emotionally. And then think about 40, 50, and 60-year-old men that you know. And that's what happened here. These men are rapists. They are pedophiles. They are predators. And the Republican Party, under the Christian signaling leadership of Kanks, are trying to act like they care about children. And you even have Kanks talking about the Bible protecting children. He participated in and knew all about this child pedophilia ring. And because he's so compromised, our national security is compromised. And because it takes such a morally depraved individual to take part in all of this, he has attracted equally morally depraved individuals like Moses Mike Johnson. And they can sit in Christian signal to you all they want. It is simply the same tactic that they accuse us of doing in virtue signaling. These people think they can do anything and say anything they want if they talk about the good Lord. And these people are hypocrites. They are sociopath. And probably the majority of them suffering from extreme micro penises. And then just a cascade of issues that follow.
I like Jen McCarver's comment. She's the most trans-looking non-trans woman I've ever seen.
Yeah,
funny.
You know, we constantly hear from liberals do you know any gay people? Do you know any black people? Do you know any trans people? The answer is yes, I do. And I can tell you that me knowing trans people, gay people, lesbian people, black people has nothing to do with who they are. Because that doesn't weigh their character. You're putting in a very non-specific category for a multitude and facets of different levels of distinction and who those people represent and who they are based upon their experiential learning and life lessons. And you cannot summarily wrap somebody in a bow of black, gay, lesbian, any more than you can wrap somebody in the Christian wrapping paper and expect a different result. See, the problem with liberals is that they don't see people as human beings with separate souls. And the one basis of Christianity means that we are all responsible for the soul that is endowed to us by our Creator. And that's what makes us unique. And it's not touchable. It's not a piece of our anatomy. You can't see it. You can't scan it. But it's that little voice inside of us that tells us the difference between right and wrong. And it doesn't surprise me that a lady of this magnitude and this importance, who has been described as the next Joe Rogan, I can tell you after watching 1 minute and 30 seconds that this woman is nothing like Joe Rogan. In fact, Joe Rogan is a very caring and kind human being who respects everybody who demonstrates a modicum of respect for him, and this woman doesn't have any respect for anybody. This is identity politics. And she's trying to equate virtue signaling to Christian signaling. Well, Christians are single-handedly some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. And there are bad apples and bad seeds. And someone who was taken advantage by the church, I don't hold all Christians responsible for that. I think if you actually had proof of Donald Trump doing something, it would have been released by now. And more importantly, if you did have something that was incontrovertible evidence, I think you would find that Christians would repudiate Donald Trump and everything about him. And all I can do is lead you to somebody who pretended to be a devout Christian and a man of moral standing who had Southern influence, and that was George Bush, Jr. and Sr. And Republicans completely disavowed the Bushes from our party. In fact, we had a mini revolution in 2006 and 2014 against the Bushes and the neocons and removed them from our party. This is why we repudiated Hillary Clinton. This is why we still repudiate Lindsey Graham. People like Jason Chaffetz and Trey Gowdy and Michelle Bachmann, although they find value in who they are as human beings or Christians, we don't find them of value because they're neocons. So you can only simply look to the Clintons, the Bushes, and the Obamas, who were responsible for killing almost 1 million people in the desert. And all of us have repudiated them and completely castigated them out from our lives. Some of us even voted for Obama. Some of us voted for Clinton. So you need no other evidence than that to know that Christians, GOP, Republicans, Trump supporters, MAGA, maggots, Nazis, whatever you want to call us, that we are on the right side when we see things that are wrong. The only party who isn't are the party of the Ku Klux Klan against civil rights, Jim Crow laws, tried to kill people and hold bounties against people who supported the Underground Railroad, Japanese internment camps, Tuskegee experiments, Manifest Destiny, eugenics. You want me to go on? There's only one party who has the modern-day slave plantation, doesn't apologize, who keep an entire group of people under their thumb with the inner city. You want to talk about moral perplexity and moral vacancy. I will say that Christians are they are very perplexed. But there's only one group of people, and it comes from her party, who are morally vacant because they repudiate God. And unfortunately, those are where our moral principles from Western civilization and the Constitution of the United States and this form of government are inherent and born from. Not only those God-given rights that were endowed by our Creator, but also the natural given rights that are inherent in every person. The difference between us is vast, and it's so much more than our religion. Now, a lady like that will never understand that. That's why she can't hold a relationship with a man, because she loves herself so much that there's no room for anyone else. Liv, final word goes to you.
Yeah, she's kind of a nasty woman. I don't like her.
Just a bit. Just a bit outside. Folks, thanks for hitting our goal. Sandra St. Ors came in with a save the day along with every other person who helped donate today. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Liv, final minute. It's the weekend. We're out of here. It's 10 o'clock. It's a late night, but we had to hit it.
Yep.
Any thoughts?
Thank you for everyone who helped us on goal. And we will tell you all about our evening with Barry and Shelley Morgenstein on Monday.
Yeah. I'm going to call
See
them.
who he rubs shoulders with.
I'm going to call them Morgenstein.
Morgenstein.
Morgenstein. Like Frankenstein, in the movie. He said, Dr. Frankenstein, it's Frankenstein. Call them Morgenstein. They won't get it. They're Jewish. Have a great night. Can't wait to see it. We'll send some pictures for tomorrow. Everyone have a blessed weekend. Take care of yourself. Please pray and for Sherry and Rob, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
you remember their names. Good
I'm really
job.
bad with names.
I know.
But,
that's why I'm saying you remember their names. Good job.
And it's in Virginia. That's all we're going to say. We're not going to let anyone know where we're at. And has nothing to do with you guys. It has to do with other people who are nuts and crazy. I will be carrying. It's Virginia. So, good luck with that. That's it. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one. Take care of each other. Go over to the Dumb Show, dumbshow.com. Go pick up some shirts, some coffee, some hats, stuff like that. We'll see you guys. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm tired. Good night.
Night, y'all.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.